Hello, everybody. Here we're at St. Paul Curling Club, the Big Spiel Finals. I wanted to get the stream going ahead of time, see if we can capture the audio of the bagpiper.
He's cracked up and lost it.
These guys were joking around that whole game.
This microphone smells like smoke.
Oh, it's Don Santrum. Yeah.
Is he smoking a cigar?
No, he was toking.
Was he?
No. Come on. No, why can't we hear them?
JML, right?
I can hear him.
Okay.
Oh, you know why? It's because we've got the skip mics, and they're in the middle of the pack, and they're in the house.
Oh, we got
Always one of them.
the skips are wired today?
Yeah, Wilmer wired, and then the third.
I think we've
Westbrook.
walked next
Oh,
together
Pete,
down
yeah.
there before, Mark.
Well, this could be interesting with Wilmer being wired. Are we live?
Yes, sir. All right. It looks like Wilmer just got out on the ice, although his
Thanks, buddy.
mic is kind of.
Are these?
No. I think those are prior. Seems like we might be having some audio issues. I don't know. With all the pounding.
That's the brooms.
Yeah. Oh, you got a whiskey. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Sláinte, good to have you.
Thanks for having me, yeah. Again, it's fun.
Let's see if we can get this thing ended before the Vikes game.
Yeah, hopefully it's all blowouts.
Including the Vikes game.
Right. It looks like there's too many curlers for 8 sheets.
It could be like the junior bond spiels where they bring out even the people that didn't qualify so they can just experience it.
Yes. So did you give me a proper introduction to the 3 people watching?
No.
4 now?
Everybody, we have Scott the Heat Belvich here with us.
Wow.
Bring the heat.
Bring the heat.
Yeah, Scott Belvich, former ice maker St. Paul, premier ice maker in Chaska.
How many games have you done so far?
This is the 3rd game. We just did the Sunday.
Oh, okay. So you're not, yeah, I was going to say you didn't sound hoarse or don't look too tired.
Nope. And I'm also not drinking.
Snowing hard.
That's a lie. There they are.
Hey, that kid's too young.
Stewie, that's Stewie Strack.
I hope they give him a scotch.
Stewie Strack. He must be the team representative, Big Spiel rep. Yay, round of applause for the Piper man. So
Thank you everyone for attending and playing again this year. Congratulations for being part of the finals. First of all, we'd like to recognize the ultimate beneficiaries of the Big Spiel, our juniors. And to our junior representative today, Mr. Stuart Strack.
Double Windsor.
I thought he meant the Canadian whiskey, but I guess he meant the tie.
yeah, I did too.
There is always 3 people to thank. It is to the competitors first, and in no order of importance, the organizing committee second, and the ice makers third. So, congratulations to you and to the ice makers and to the committee.
They actually gave some kudos to the ice makers there. That was
Thanks for playing.
It's pretty rare.
3rd.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's you guys that make it happen. We thank for everybody that's local and coming nationwide. It's really turning into a fun event. So we thank you.
Sparky's choking up, and then he's going to choke one down.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
You don't know how much work
Yeah, we can
Mark puts
participate
into
here.
this.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Cheers.
Thanks, buddy.
Delicious. What are you having?
Jameson.
Whoa.
Ooh.
It was a big shot. They didn't go shy on it.
You guys don't want to improve?
All right, well, for the 4 people watching, hi everybody out there, and
You know, you don't have to qualify the audience. It could just as easily be 400. We always bring our A game here in St. Paul.
yes, absolutely. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. This has been a very fun event. We had a rocking good time in Chaska yesterday. The place was just a zoo all day. It was packed. And very, very boisterous. A lot of fun. The Players Lounge was just full of people all day. The bar was packed with the public, and they were watching and asking a ton of questions. It was great exposure for more great exposure, I should say, for that Southwest area. And
You
these
guys
guys
in
have
Chaska,
done a
do
nice
you guys
job.
get people to watch it from the glass out in the lobby?
Yeah, a lot of people will stand out there, especially Fridays, Saturdays, when
game,
there's a little
boys.
wait for the restaurant.
Chris.
That's where they'll kind of hang out and watch.
We got handshakes. So this is we're doing the
Have a
show
good one, buddy.
sheet 5. Mark Wilmert's squad is
You guys
Brian
3
Sparstead is lead, Nick Myers is second, Chris Dolan is third, Mark Wilmert, who is mic'd up, is skip, and on the Goodland rink, Richard Mescal is lead, Dwayne Jacobson is second, Pete Westberg, who is mic'd, is third, and Jeff Goodland is fourth. It's a formidable seniors team.
Very much
Good game, Nick.
formidable, yeah. And the Wilmert squad, this same team won this big Spiel the inaugural year. Brian Sparstead, the lead of the team, is my stepson.
Oh, I think I knew that.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot to do with his curling career.
Yeah, actually, I have.
You give him a lot of.
We played in league here for about. He's 29. We've been playing in league here in St. Paul for about 10 years together. I've been playing 20, but he's joined me about 10 years ago and loves curling. So I'm really happy he enjoys the game. He's a good curler.
We have to flip a coin for this too.
There was some discussion about someone played the Goodland rink, and I was listening to them, and they're like, "Those guys take it really seriously." You know,
Ooh,
like,
Jacksonville
there
scored
was
again.
a lot of discussion, a lot of. And I was like, "That's funny." I
We
said,
got
like I
Tigers.
talk to Pete all the time. He's a pretty
We're the
jovial
best
guy,
team
but he
left.
does take it seriously.
Yeah. I think
Jovial to a limit.
right. The 4 guys on that team
I just flipped the coin and won, so I'm sorry.
are all just they curl. They don't take part in a lot of the after activities that occur in curling. So
You mean like sleeping? So I went up to the mixed doubles thing up in Blaine,
yep.
and I went over and I watched Kevin Martin doing commentating.
Yeah.
And I looked at the
We
headsets
lost
he
the
was
flip,
wearing,
so let's take
Yeah.
yellow.
and I got us a set. That's what these are.
Really?
Yeah, these are professional
I can see the yellow ones
broadcast
better.
quality
Strictly for curling?
curling headsets.
Just curling headsets.
Yeah, Sennheiser makes them because in Germany actually there's a
And we
big
don't have the hammer.
curling community, so they have a dedicated headset
Yeah.
just for this. Not true.
I got a lot of stuff going on in my head right now. Oh, wait a minute. That helped. Oh, that's way better. I could hear the club room quite a bit. Now I blocked it out. Anyway, we're starting now. Game is underway. Everybody, you're watching it just as well as we are. So if you can make your comments on online, tell us what we're not saying or should be saying, or how wrong we are as being armchair skips. Let us know.
So Scott, you probably know all these people, right?
Playing?
On this sheet 5.
Yeah. Played against them or with them or most of them, yeah. There's a nice corner guard by Richard Mescal to start the game. Should have been on the center line.
I'm sure that Mark will
Rock
take
curled.
advantage of that.
Yeah, Rock curled a lot more than what he anticipated, I think, there. Here comes Brian Sparstead out of the hack with his first.
Gotta love those pants.
Yeah. In turn down. Hopefully you can get it around that high guard. Looks like it's gonna wreck on it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so in
lot
the
of
second
curl.
draw, this that run was kind of straight. It's interesting because the first draw was really swingy, but that one.
That rock curled quite a bit.
Swingy ice here, fellas.
Yeah, Pete just said it if you didn't hear it out there. Pete just said swingy ice here, fellas, so we'll see if they don't start putting a little more handle on the rock. Jeff's moved it out to 5 feet. And here comes Richard with his second. Goodland Rink throwing yellow rocks. Holy.
Yeah, I had my audio board is a little buggy today.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can really hear those brooms going.
Yeah.
Good brick. Yeah, it's slower than this morning. It was swinging hard, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to listen to Pete Westberg in loud
might,
voice for a while
get a little
until we
straighter
get
later,
this.
maybe.
I don't think that'll happen. Pete mentioned it. Maybe it'll get a little straighter later. Typically in a game, it'll continue to curl a little bit more as the ice softens up.
Yep.
Pebble flattens out a little bit. Brian's got the opportunity for a nice hit here, and it looks real nice down the sheet. Gotta hold it out there. Nice shot by Sparstead. I might be a little objective today whenever he throws a rock. I don't know.
Yeah, I already. We can choose sides. That's fine.
Should we bet? Should we lay down a wager on this game?
Maybe we should get a deck of cards. We could do that deck of cards thing.
Oh, the ends.
I'll lay down a bet. I think Goodland's going to.
Let's play
A little
ends.
bit slower than this morning.
Hey, let's play ends. You know how to set up ends, right? Remember the game where you're throwing a buck? If anybody out there doesn't know how to play ends, it's a fantastic
You got
game
takeout
to
way
play
here.
in curling, where you
Beat
have
her up.
take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, steal 1,
Yeah,
steal 2,
we need a
steal
deck of
3,
cards,
steal
though.
4.
Yeah, I'll go run
And
and
you
get deck
have
of cards. You
blank
vamp.
end. You have a blank end, and you have a score or take 5. So there's 10 cards altogether, and everybody throws in a buck, and so there's 10 bucks in the pot. So each end that gets played, if it's a steal 2 and you have that card, you win the pot. If it's take 5 or steal 5, you win that. If it's a blank end, you win that, etc., etc. It's super fun, keeps people very involved in the game, and by end. So, and obviously you can play it with for a buck or $100. Bob Hedstrom's going to join us soon. He's chomping at the bit. Can we get 3 of us? Is that all right? You have to have a whiskey, though, Bob, if you're going to do commentary.
We kind of wait.
Hi.
Hi.
This has kind of been a dream of ours, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've talked about this for a long time. Here we are.
Proper introduction. Mr. Bob Hedstrom is on the microphone. Bob is a longtime St. Paul curler, part of the Twin City Curling Association, a major player in the Big Spiel organizational scheme of things. And actually, Bob and you and I have done this many times, just never with an actual microphone in front of us.
All we ever do is comment about curling. And as you know, I am one of the top 4 skips in the world of watching curling from the second floor.
You are one of the top 4, but you're quite a bit behind Al Sunderborg. Al is definitely
Exactly.
number 1.
I was over at Frogtown this morning watching Big Al play in the cage cleaner final, the 9th event. Al lost almost on a measure, about by half an inch on his last shot.
Son of a gun.
So the Jeff Hogden rink was the winner of the 9th event, Cage Cleaner over in St. Paul. And the backwards Leicester game in the Circus Bear 10th event was out-of-town team Ryan Lemke from Medford. It was good they knocked us out of the Leicester last night up in Fogarty. It was good to run into those guys because back in the day I used to curl pretty regularly in the Medford Silver Dollar Spiel. And so we had a lot of names in common because Ryan's wife, Jackie, is Jeff 60 Miller's daughter, and the Giebert rink from over there was always a tough competitor and came over and curled in St. Paul. So it was really great to see a Medford team over here in the cities again. And I hope it's something that we can reciprocate by getting teams over to their spiels. Medford's a great curling town. Get over there if you can.
Yeah, next weekend, right? This weekend.
Next weekend, yeah. If you can throw something together, they are still looking to put some teams into their bond spiel. Trip to Medford, trust me, I've been there several times. Well worth the effort.
Right, and if you're a Twin Cities curler, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. It's not that far a drive to Medford.
Yeah, 2.5, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Bob, I was really glad that you brought those fancy names for all the N's together. Ringmaster, Zoolander, whatever those things are. It's very creative, Bob.
Oh, the 11th event, the Zoolander. That is nice. That would be a fun idea. The meetings for the Big Spiel organizing committee are more fun than work because coming up with 10 event names and the things that we've thrown out are probably as entertaining as the things we've kept.
I can imagine.
Okay, the biggest complaint I ever hear about curling play-by-play is they don't talk about the curling. We better get out to the sheet here. What's going on?
This is what I say about that. Everybody's watching, so they know more than we do.
Exactly.
So they
Goodland playing Yellowstones is looking at 3 rocks in the house. They just clicked a guard. Wilmert looking to be in decent shape, and I'm not. Have you seen who has hammer here?
The Wilmert rink does have hammer here, and I think we're up to thirds rocks here. So definitely the Goodland rink's having a little trouble. The ice is definitely moving about 5 feet on a good draw with 3 rotations. So they're still looking at what they need to do here to get into the 4-foot. Fortunately for the Goodland rink and Jeff, being as good a curler as he is, the 4-foot is still wide open.
You come here, that's not the worst thing, but
he's got space to get in there.
Okay, we've got a couple people mic'd out there. Mark Wilmert, the skip, the guy with the interesting hat, is one of those mic'd, as well as Pete Westberg for the Goodland rink. Pete is playing third.
Right. Chris Dolan playing third for Wilmert, delivering the red rock, looking to make a little tap on that rock in the top 12 and split it over to act as both a guard and a scoring rock. He's close, but I think he's going to miss the tap. And just
looks to be a straight draw, and they're probably going to be front 12. Covering things pretty well now. The 4-foot is kind of plugged up with a chance for a intern play on the rock in the back of the house, but not a lot of free entries to the 4-foot.
No, it's not. If he can get down on that back 8 red rock though, and just draw down on the intern side, he's going to be sitting shot, and it'll be hard for Wilmert to move that rock.
Strategically, Scott, what do you think here? Early in the game where you
look, he's got an easy double here, and I think that's what he's playing.
I think it is too, and I think that's probably the wise play because you can give up a deuce or a 3 in the first end and have plenty of time to come back for it. But if you get a little bit too aggressive and give up a bigger number, then you're in trouble for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's almost, those 2 red rocks that he's going to make this double on, it's almost a pair of pants. But it's a little, they're a little too separated. They're a big pair of pants, right? I mean,
Well, there's a
We call those hanging ringers here.
there's a funny little triple in play here too. If he gets to the other side of the
Yep.
whoa, whoa,
Yep.
no. Well, they weren't going to make that. They're trying to double on the back.
see what I saw? Got 2 of them on the back.
Yeah, not a bad shot.
No, you always want to cut them down when you're looking at a 4-pack. How things look much better.
If Mark draws the top 4 here, he is in a real pickle, though. He's going to give up 2 or 3 for sure. His yellow rock is now
It's all about
unavailable.
and early ends. It's always tough to know exactly where you're going to set the broom to make that come around. If it's the 3rd or the 5th end and you're playing this shot, you have a much better idea of where you're going to be, what your release point has to be. I like.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
So let's do a fun fact.
I wish we would have had a shot at that, though.
Let's get away from curling for a moment.
Been laying, pretty nice there.
What time's the Vikings game? Pretty soon here, isn't it?
Oh, look at the snow coming down. Fun fact. Mr. Scott Belvich and I each have a dog. They're at least 4 or 5 years apart in age, and they have the same name.
Dog?
We have the same name dog.
Is
Bella.
the dog named Dog?
No, it's Bella.
It's Bella.
Oh.
Bella.
Oh, Bella.
And that was unplanned. We did not discuss that ahead of time.
That's a fun fact.
I take it you guys
There will
know
be-
each other.
There will be more to come as the game goes on. We are full of fun facts. So Wilmer has let his rocks go. He took almost to the edge of the 12-foot for broom, and it's not working yet.
It's
Usually
coming.
get late
It's working. It's
usually
working,
get late
guys.
movement here in St. Paul, but it looks like there'll still be some exposure.
He's going to sit 3
Oh,
here.
look at the late tuck, though.
No,
Just
just 2.
left it high.
Yeah, not a bad shot. Leaves that back red rock available
Control.
for Mr. Goodland, and they're talking control weight.
Westberg
There's
is
plenty
talking
of
about
curl out
control
there.
weight hit.
Excuse me, Bob. When I'm talking, you don't, and then when you talk, I don't. That's how this kind of works.
Why can't we both talk at the same time?
Because
We're
not
usually doing that.
We're not Troy Aikman and what's that other guy's name?
Oh, I have.
Bo Juck. Yeah.
That'll be my next
Hey.
fun fact.
Joe Buck is picking the Vikings, though. So
Is he?
yeah, you're probably back on the Buck bandwagon.
I'm not a big Joe Buck fan, but
He has nice hair.
He has nice hair, and he wears his
Still
stubble.
throw the same weight or not?
I've never been a big fan of his, but I will say this: have you ever watched the show Brockmire?
Brockmire redeemed Joe Buck in my mind so much because he plays the pompous Joe Buck in it, and it is perfect.
It's hilarious. He does play the pompous Joe Buck, and he kills it, and
Yes,
it
just-
did resurrect him a little bit. That's why I brought that up. Yeah.
And when watching Brockmire, please leave the kids out of the room.
Do you think that Brockmire might hurt Joe Buck's feelings?
No, he's a full participant.
Oh, he's in it.
He is in it in
Yeah,
in the flesh.
he's in the show, and his character is Joe Buck, and it's quite entertaining.
So he knows his foibles.
I believe
Clearly,
so, yeah.
clearly.
Does he have a picture of Aaron Rodgers on his desk in that show?
Yep.
Most
Not
likely-
that I recall. Okay, so Goodland is playing.
Oh, he made a peach.
Kick
Yeah,
and roll. He
that's-
ends
All right,
up
that's not
being
bad.
shot.
I'd
with-
call it an apricot.
Turned out pretty good, actually.
Oh, yes.
That turned out very good, Pete Westberg. That was a peach, as we say. He's got the chance to be picked out. Be tough for Wilmer to keep the shooter. Wilmer can pick it and sit 2, which is probably the wise shot.
Running that one back.
This is Hammer here, right?
Yes, it is.
Boy, they played this end so well, and then, just like curling, one shot, it's not looking good, but you make that one shot when you need to, and now you're sitting shot, and you're covered. And
It looks like he has
Good steal.
slightly less than half of the shot rock exposed. Wilmert's throwing left-handed from the right-hand side of the hacks, and that always changes this shot a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to run back.
This shot might be slightly easier for a right-handed thrower.
That's a shot. That's for 3. Or he gives us 1. Yeah, that was a barn burner of a shot.
Yeah, I think they are deciding between the run back or the.
I think Pete Westberg just called that one right, too. He said that's a barn burner of a shot.
Far down into the rings up.
That's a very tough shot. But I think it's worth the risk here. You give up a steal 1, no big deal in the first end. You make the shot and you get 2, possibly 3. So he doesn't need to throw a lot of weight to make this happen. He just needs to get that yellow rock just out of the house, or even well into the back 12. So it's there. It can be made. I think this is the right call. Here he comes. Little shaky on that takeout weight slide.
It's up weight. The sweepers are staying away from it.
It's coming. It's
Still
coming.
no line.
Came a little, stayed a little wide.
A little
Close
late. Not enough break at the end. Probably need to be a bit narrower on the broom or a bit lighter on the weight, and it comes over.
We might have to go remind Mark Wilmert that he is mic'd up.
He hasn't been saying much. I think he's got the mic covered by the scarf.
I didn't catch that. Was there an expletive involved with that?
There was a couple of them there, yeah. I don't know. I didn't. Are we under FCC rules here?
No, USCC. US OCCC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fortunately, we have a 7-second delay,
Yeah.
and there are only 9 people listening.
So people can brace for it. It's coming.
Well, that was a little too bad, a little unfortunate for the Wilmer. They had played that end very well. We're going to get you guys caught up on some of these other games that are going on here too. Christopher, do you have any kind of?
I have a partial list here.
Okay.
So sheet 1 is Moore versus Hart.
In the which event?
7th event.
Okay.
Sheet 2 is the 5th event.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do we call it the 5th event or do we call it the?
There's a name.
Lion Tamer.
Lion Tamer.
Is it really the Lion's Tamer? I was going to write all those down.
Oh,
if you'd like, I could go do that.
That'd be
In a
fantastic.
brochure. I believe the 5th event is the Lion Tamer because 2 years ago I did play in the final. I regret to say I'm sitting up here because this is the first of the 4 years that I have not been on the ice for a final in the big Spiel.
And Chris, this is a good for you too, so you know Bob Hedstrom. One of his nicknames is Sideshow.
Sideshow Bob?
Sideshow Bob. So he and actually one of the one of the events is the Sideshow.
The second event, which we have won last year and in the inaugural year.
So he's won his nickname event.
I'm a double Sideshow.
Yeah.
All right, so sheet 2 is Sailor Jerry is the team versus the winner of the Faltasek. I don't know who is it. Faltasek curling on sheet 2?
No, Erickson.
No, it's Jeff Erickson.
Yeah, then it's Erickson. Yeah. All right.
Jeff Erickson out of Proctor, Minnesota, who I curled against in high school in the 70s.
Let him finish the.
Oh yeah, go
All right.
ahead. I'm just.
Sheet 3 is the 4th event finals. Wright versus Gow. Sheet 4 is Smith. 2nd event finals. Smith versus On the Rocks. I think On the Rocks are from 4 Seasons.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that's true.
Sheet 6 is Calvin Roush versus Far Below.
Yeah.
The Clones.
Yeah.
Sheet 7 is Alvin, and I didn't get the they were still playing on sheet 2. I don't know who they're playing.
That's Pete Alwyn, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, versus another team.
Mm-hmm.
And sheet 8 is Brown versus Ochoko.
And that is the eighth event final.
Yep.
Let's see. Ochoko, I know, was the 9th event winner last year, so they're returning to the finals again this year. One notch up.
I got a quick funny story about Yomar Ochoko. He is a St. Paul curler, has been for quite a few years. He was curling in Chaska last night, and he arrived to the club, and he didn't have his curling shoes. Yomar is a rather small guy, so he started asking around, could someone find me some shoes? And one of the gals had a pair of curling shoes that was going to fit him well, and he borrowed those shoes. And during his game, I stopped by and I said, how are the shoes working out? And he said he absolutely loved them, that they were better than his own curling shoes. And they were like pink and a very, very curling shoe, but he was all about them, and he played fantastically in them. Hence the reason he's sitting here playing on sheet 8 in the final today.
That's a good story.
That is an excellent story.
He should have those shoes.
By all rights.
All right, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get the names of those events for you guys.
And a whiskey for Bob.
Thanks, Christopher. Here we are. Dwayne Jacobson is firing out with the first of the second rocks. Peeling a Wilmert rock off of the left 12-foot.
Yes.
Wilmert's got a corner up, and he's continuing to throw the rock underneath it. There is Goodland's got a rock sitting in the top 12.
That rock will not be scoring by the end of this second end here.
No, I would imagine it'll either be gone or out counted.
They were ignore that and use their corner guard. Nick Myers, former St. Paul curler out of Texas now. He's been living down in the Dallas area and been a big proponent of the arena curling they have down there in Dallas, I believe in Arlington.
Nick's originally a Mankato or Mapleton product, isn't he?
Mapleton, I believe, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Throws one into the, just behind the tee line in the back 8. Going to make Goodland think about drawing to it or hitting it. No, there's no thought there. What am I talking about?
Without the hammer, he's
going to hit that rock in a heartbeat. Mr. Jakobsen. Pretty nice delivery. Looked a little bit tight there, and that rock's going to move. There's not a lot of weight to it. It's curling.
The sweepers are on it all the way. He's calling them off. He might have a little tuck on this. Nope, straight back.
A nice shot. And we're growing up towards the tee line. We're getting higher and higher with each hit there.
I would like to mention that the flu bug has actually taken a pretty heavy toll on this Bonspiel this weekend. In the quarterfinal, the Merlin Orvik rig was unable to proceed past the second end due to pretty much a team-wide illness. That was against Wilmert, so they got into the second end and offered handshakes due to inability to play. And I know one of their teammates
not much I can do.
was not even able to start the Bonspiel. The Margie Smith team playing over on sheet 4, I know has by attrition due to illness has lost her vice skip Debbie Dexter.
Oh, really? I didn't know Debbie felt.
Also because the cold and flu bug that's moving through. I felt it coming on Wednesday. And by Thursday, I had gone to the medicine chest and thrown everything I had at it. And I don't know if we can mention sponsors or not, but I would like to thank both the Quills, Day and Nye, for getting me through this Bonspiel. I feel much better now.
Excellent.
But I might ask Christopher to throw away the microphone that I'm speaking into right now by the end of this game.
I'm not happy I'm sitting this close to you either. Anyway, back to the game. Mr. Nick Myers was trying to make a little play on a tap back. He threw well too much weight. He went through the house. He missed everything. And all of a sudden, the Goodland rink is sitting 3. And this seems to be what happens. I've seen these guys play a lot, the Goodland rink. And I got to tell you, I think they are the bearers of more good luck than any team I've ever seen in my life. And obviously they're very good curlers, so they create a lot of their own good luck. But that wasn't a very difficult shot by Nick, and it just was thrown poorly. But here we got almost a hit and roll there underneath by Chris Dolan.
Still exposed. You know, I've watched Jeff play for, I want to say, decades, and I'll have another fun fact coming up on Jeff Goodland. But
Does that have to do with the big shoes?
no, it has nothing to do with the big shoes. Jeff has been more of a serious curler over his career than some of the others that might be accused. But at any rate,
I knew I liked that guy.
Jeff has always been keeping rocks around the house. That's his style of play.
Yeah.
He'll play the softer game and keep stuff around.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, that cut hard.
Well,
that cut really hard.
as much
He's gonna
weight
get a
as there
piece just out of luck.
Yeah.
It's going to play it all the way through. That was more luck than skill.
Well, and there you go. That was my comment just a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still sitting 3.
They're the beneficiaries of the rewards of the curling gods, or undue justice. What does it come down to?
I think it's clean living.
Clean living.
I think that's what it is.
Have you guys read the book The Rocks of Wrath?
No.
No.
It's a curling novel.
Do you have it here? Can we read passages?
Sure. It's by Steinway.
Oh. You're a little too quick for us, Chris.
Or I'm just not funny.
Whoa!
It could be that.
The Rocks of Wrath.
So I interviewed Mary Dews
The piano guy,
for
Steinway?
Stonecast, and she said there used to be a piano up here. Back in the day, there used to be a piano right over here.
I remember there was an upright there.
Yeah, that would be really fun. A little honky tonkin'.
You think?
Yeah, get everybody singing.
Yeah. Well, have you been up here with Al Taylor?
Oh yeah.
Dwayne and
Yeah.
Chuck and
Every time I see him, he pulls me in. He said, "Chris, let's sing a song."
yeah. Those guys are fun to listen to.
Yeah, get him early though.
Get them early is right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, the worst thing about pianos is that they bring out the chopsticks players in the worst of us.
Well, we are now seeing a wide open top of the house. So that was the one fortunate thing for the Wilmot rink here when Pete's rock curled up on him. He did open up the front very nicely for the Wilmot rink. So regardless of what happens here, I think most of the 4-foot is going to be available to Mark with his Skips rocks. I hope they would tie this game up at the very least.
Have you been checking splits at all to see what how the ice is playing?
We don't do that till the third end.
Third end.
Yeah, that's an ice maker tip for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that is a good tip.
Yeah.
It changes every shot in the first 2 ends. It really does.
Well, there's different paths, yes. So, yeah, typically about the third end is when you'll get a real good sense.
So on a draw, anybody who's not familiar with timing splits, you're going to time the delivery from the back line of the house to the hog line, and when you're timing that, you're looking for something typically on depending on the speed of the ice, somewhere between 3.6 and 3.9 and a half seconds on a typical draw, and that will increase as the speed of the ice, as the progress of the game goes on.
Yeah, and it actually can maybe slow down on you a little bit near the end of the game. I'm getting a text. I'm getting a text from Mr. Mark Arnold down in Prescott, Arizona.
I like to call him my Skip Mark Arnold.
Yes.
That's the second time he's texted into celebrity hosts.
Celebrity, yeah. I hope you're doing well, sir. And thanks for listening. He's in Prescott, Arizona, where it's Whiskey Row.
Where is Prescott in relation to Tucson?
I can tell you in relation to Phoenix and Flag, which is kind of halfway between Phoenix and Flag,
But
north
a bit
and
to the west.
north and west. Yeah.
I visited Mark Arnold a year ago, September, at his lovely palatial estate.
Wonderful.
Outside of Prescott, Arizona. I have to say that it was marvelous hospitality, as well as a great hiking area. Mark
is Mark related to Paula?
Paula's son. Paula's second eldest son.
So I interviewed Paula. I've got about an hour and a half of audio of it's Paula and Dick, right?
Right.
And we had to cut out all the saucy bits. So if he wants, he can subscribe to Stonecast Uncut.
Stonecast Uncut.
And he can see all the bits we had to cut out because of
there you go, M.A.
inappropriate childhood conversations.
They are part of the, and you'd know this probably better than I am, Bob, but they are part of the oldest family history here at the St. Paul Curling Club, dating back to the Dunlops.
Why, naturally. And my first year of curling in the St. Paul Curling Club, I played third to Mark Arnold's skip in 1984.
My skip, Mark Arnold.
My skip, Mark Arnold. We have so much dirt on each other that you could fill a deep hole.
You know, I emailed the manager here, Scott Clausen, the other day, and I asked, I never heard of this term, the legacy families of St. Paul Curling Club.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what the 10 legacy families are?
I could not name the 10.
I couldn't name them all. I bet I could probably nail
Nice
about
shot.
5 or 6.
Mr. Goodland just made a very nice shot.
Oh, yeah. Pay attention to the curling, boys.
We are coming down to hammer shot here, and Wilmer is looking at 4.
He is. Well, Mark made a nice shot down to the yellow rock of the Goodland rink to try to force that hit and maybe have it jam and have the opportunity for 2. And Jeff made an even better shot to move his rock out of the house and sit 4. So now Mark is basically drawing down to Goodland's last rock on the left side of the 4-foot, as everybody can see. All 3 of you guys listening, or is it just Mark now? Is it Mark Arnold, the only one?
No, I forgot about Mark. I think he's number 10.
It looks like there's 2,872 people watching.
Fantastic.
That could be the frame rate, though.
Here is the last rock of the second end.
I think
from
that's
Mr. Wilmer.
sponsorship dollars.
Yeah. We're actually broadcasting on 2 different channels, Facebook and YouTube. 3 different channels.
Oh, they got to move that back. Fine shot. Nice shot. Couple of fine rocks there. It was a well-played end. The Goodland rink being beneficiaries of a missed shot once again. But well-played end. We got a tie game after 2. It's 1-1, everybody, and I think we're in for an exciting finish.
Yeah, buckle up, boys. After the third end, we'll get the stopwatches out. We'll be on fire.
I think it's time for another fun fact. When I started curling on the Wisconsin Bonspiel circuit back in the mid-1980s, Jeff Goodland.
Is this the Big Shoe story?
No, it's not.
Oh, we better get to that one.
Whatever happened to the Big Shoes?
We're going to talk about it.
Jeff Goodland was skipping a team of young men. They were we were talking about close to 33, 34 years ago. And I know Jeff is just on the north side of 60 years old, so he's probably in his late 20s. He had a pretty strong juniors competitive squad that was made up of Paul Henry.
He could be juniors, and he's in his late 20s.
Not junior squad. I'm sorry, a young competitive squad of curlers, but they weren't a junior team. They had played in juniors. Cal Tillish, who was a big part of putting together the new club in Wausau, was part of that team. And I think they had a couple other floater members. But at the time, it was legal to wear a headset and a microphone and communicate with each other.
I've heard this, yeah.
And
I haven't heard it with real names, though.
Okay, well, it was the Goodland Ring. I don't know of anybody else who used it, but they had headset and microphone equipment to communicate with each other.
How's the line?
And I recall after curling in a Bonspiel over in Eau Claire that one of their members had taken off their headset and set it to the side, and Willie Farbelow, part of Team Farbelow playing out on sheet 6, walked over, grabbed one of the headsets, and asked if he could order a cheeseburger and fries. So Willie, who has always been a very enthusiastic curler and never took the game too seriously.
He's just Willie.
Was just Willie in that occasion.
Willie was part of also with Mike O'Neill and Splash. They did the Guinness Book of World Records, most consecutive hours of curling here at the St. Paul Club.
Mike O'Neill was involved. Did you say Mike's name?
Mike was involved.
Tracy, Willie.
Yeah, Splash.
Maybe the Chris Rugg was involved
Might
with
have
that.
been for a while. I think
Rugg
Dexter
boys.
was involved in that a little bit. So you'd have to look it up. Maybe it might still be there, but
I'm sure it's on Wikipedia.
yeah, there was a book made, and they curled for, I want to say, like 170 hours straight, something like that.
It was over the course of the weekend. I don't think it was that they required that many. I believe if you go out and buy one of the few remaining copies of the St. Paul Centennial book, that there is a mention of it.
It looks like they failed, though. Google thinks that there's other teams.
Well, it might have been beaten. I think they were the first.
Was it before 1968?
No, it was early 80s. It was probably about 82 or 83, because it was prior to my involvement here, but shortly before that.
They got, there was actually one of their moms made a scrapbook because they were taking photos and everything else. And they slept on the walkway, and
they didn't do any drinking, did they?
No, I think it was a lot of smoking though.
There used to be ashtrays out on the ice.
You used to be able to smoke on the ice back in those days.
Dex said he used to be able to clean the ice. He could tell who was where because of the cigar ashes.
Yeah, that's right. Back to the game. We're looking at a double by Tricky Nicky Myers. Beautiful shot. That's why they call him Tricky Nicky.
You got half a tuck out of that too. That was
half a tuck. Very nice shot. Well swept by the Brian Sparstead. That kid can sweep like nobody else, by the way. If you don't know, he is a beast sweeper. One of the better ones in the club, and
he can hit a softball 400 feet too.
He can hit a softball a long way.
I've been playing ball with Brian for about 10 years now, as well as our my co-commentator here. It's what we do in the summer.
Probably normal down.
We're looking at a little soft weight here by Mr. Jakobsen here, and it's kind of staying on that center line, but there it moved. There it goes. They're sweeping it to
push.
Curl a little bit.
He's got a piece enough to go, and
I have the name of the events, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic. So after this end is completed, which we're about halfway through it, we will go back for everybody on 1 through 8 here at the St. Paul Curling Club.
Scoring
and
update.
Your scores and teams with the proper event name.
Yeah.
Well done, Chris.
Thanks. I know how to write.
Do you?
Did that help?
Yeah. Actually, they gave me this piece of paper. It was already written.
That's fantastic.
Curl or power brushing?
So we'd also probably need to get to some of our sponsors. Would be a good thing to do, including Terrapin Curling. No.
No. Terrapin didn't sponsor this. We can't afford this big stuff.
This is big.
Big time.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Do you mean I'm gonna have to go get the list of sponsors? That's the next task you're gonna send me out?
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Certainly don't rely on my memory.
Is that Debbie Dexter over there?
And that's Margie Smith.
No,
Margie Smith.
Debbie's one of the people who have been befallen by the flu bug.
Oh.
Along with Mr. and Mrs. Orvik, Merlin, and Rachel.
Yeah. Merlin did not look good last night.
Merlin got taken out in the second end of his quarterfinal game against Wilmert.
So Wilmert is rested.
Oh, he just got by that guard. He almost ticked, and that would have opened things up for the Wilmert rink. Boy, that was a quarter inch from missing.
But he retains his corner guard, and I think that's pretty huge at this point in the end.
Well, considering they're stealing, it would be better if it were on the center line, but I understand what you're saying. You're right.
It's always nice to have some cover for us, because if you don't score, You want to force one.
Is there a skins game in the 5th end here, like the other games?
No, that only goes towards the raffle.
Oh,
so
that's right, yeah.
there's.
Yep.
You get to have a ticket and you get to write your name on it, but it doesn't go towards anything.
What happened to that ends game we were trying to
Well,
get
we
going?
got a deck of cards here, but a deck of cards can be a little confusing.
Is this gambling?
Yes, we're going to gamble.
Don't you take out like
Sanctioned?
you do like ace 2-3 or something like that? I don't remember how to play it.
Yeah, you could do ace 2-3.
And then you need a blank, right?
You need a blank, which could be a joker. You need a. So we'll go ace.
We just witnessed Dolan's first rock going through the rings.
Did he breeze him?
He
he's
just
heavy on
went
the draw.
beyond the rings.
We got to get a time here too, you guys.
Leaving.
Let's get a split time.
Leaving a corner guard
Hurry
up
line.
for the Goodland rink, and Pete Westberg is trying to come around it right now. They're sweeping it tight, and they cleared it.
That's good. That's good.
Looks like
Coming
a
out the
good
other side,
berry,
guys.
almost
Wow.
to the tee line. He's full 8 foot.
Thank you, my beautiful wife. Just brought me a refreshing beverage.
It's generous.
Did anyone pick up Wilmert's comments on that last rock? I know that it's not going to make the end any better for him to be looking at this. He's playing the straight run back. Dolan's throwing his typical up weight, and he's not going to get the direct shot back, so Wilmert sweeps for the peel, exposing the shot rock.
Did you catch my path, Wayne?
Looks like Jeff will probably
clean my
go over
path,
to
Wayne?
the other side of the rings,
Clean.
giving him a very good shot for scoring 2 in this end.
Chris Dolan, I see him at juniors quite a bit.
Yeah, his daughter is pretty well into it.
Try and give you just a hair more in the last time.
So here's Scott Belvich marking up a deck of
You know, that's the
cards.
only deck of cards we have in the whole club.
No, it's not.
Whenever I see someone playing with a deck of cards, I figure it's got to be Al Taylor.
All
With
right,
his
I'm gonna
magic.
get some money going here.
We got to get dollar bills out.
Yeah, I got.
Or we could play for 5 a guy. I mean, or
Let's see what I got.
I usually, people ask me for change for 100. You know what I tell them? 100 is change. Sucker.
Thank you very much.
That way you don't have to make change, right?
That's right.
All right, I got my dollar in.
All right.
Maybe we can get anybody else. If we had the PA going, we could get this going.
Can't we entice some online people?
Sarah Rosenau from the
You don't
Chaska
want it
Curling
down.
Center is going to be the house money for.
I could just account for it on a piece of paper. You want me to account for it?
Usually before I
We'll
pull,
get it going. Don't
usually
worry.
before I pull my money out of the wallet, I ask what we're betting on.
You got to walk around and get a buck from everybody. You need
Mark
10
just looked up
$1
here and
bills.
saw us exchanging dollar bills.
Well, tell him we're betting on his shot.
Yep.
Mark's got to play the hit with the long roll to the second rock in the back 8 foot.
The out-turn side. Here he comes, the lefty.
Yeah, a lot more stable this time.
That was a much better slide than
Yeah.
the last one.
I noticed a couple of his slides are a little.
He gets the little speed wobble going, but he's usually quite accurate with it. And he is going to make
Looking
this roll.
very close.
Oh, he's going to be real close. There it
Got to
goes.
sweep that right
Oh,
in front. That
that
is a
is-
peach.
Another apricot.
Stone fruit.
Stone.
Can't get peaches or apricots anymore. I was trying to get them the other day. All right, so what are we? This is for the next end, right?
Yeah, we'll start the next end. Where's Sarah? Sarah's moving around. She needs to get some ones going here. We got us 3 commentators, and we need 7.
Do we have anybody over here in
you
the?
guys want to?
Yeah, Adam wants in.
Adam wants in.
How about you, Matt?
Sarah and Derek will get in. We'll get 10, no problem.
Oh,
It'll
Jason's
happen
got to
quick.
play.
Buck a card. Everybody throws in a buck, and you pick a card, and then we'll talk about what that
What it
card
means.
is. What it means, yeah.
Yeah. If you get one that says double whammy,
Quite a bit of discussion going on here among the
This
among the
seems
back
easier to
end
control.
of the Goodland rink.
We will also try and update these scores like we mentioned.
Goodland is.
You know, I invested a lot of money
This
into
one goes
these
pretty good,
microphones
doesn't it?
out on the rink. Maybe we should listen to those guys.
I just about overheard them, and I think what they've decided is that by playing the intern takeout on this, they have a lot of house to roll
Nice
to,
roll, man.
so they can play it a little bit thinner and have about 9 feet of house in which to roll
lot
to
of rocks
keep
to
their
go here,
shooter.
Mr. Weisberg just gave a very nice compliment to Mr. Wilmert's shot there. It was kind of him and the sport and spirit of the game, complimenting him on his fine shot.
Scott, you don't actually believe in that sport and spirit stuff, do you?
No, I am a huge proponent of that. There's a lot
Got
to
room,
the spirit
lot
of
of
the
room.
game. And
Lot of room.
we work hard on that
Yep.
at our new facility. That rock took off.
Yep.
Looking really good. They're holding it out there.
Ooh, he's
perfectly.
jamming though. He's jamming a piece of that back one.
Did jam a piece of it, and they're going to force the
That-
Goodland rink to 1 most likely if he can stay in the house with this hit. Good end played here again. We got Mike Farbelow on sheet 6. Typically, if you ever watch a Mike Farbelow game, there's 14 rocks in the 4-foot. We don't have quite that many.
He's another master of the soft game.
Very much so.
He's looking for a double here, and he just grazes.
Tick.
Ticked it.
That was Willie Farbelow
Let's get the one
playing
here.
third rocks today.
Hurry, hurry!
All right, we're still working on the ends game. So what we need to do here,
We got to close it before it starts, right?
right, for this next end.
You don't need to get all the cards out because you can let it roll.
And we don't need all the money. You need to, everybody keep their own money.
Oh, well, give me my dollar back.
It
Yeah.
almost looked like a pick.
I
but think
put in
he,
$3.
he turned it down.
Walk around and offer the card, and
Looks
then
like
they'll
he
give you
cranked it in.
$1. So yep, you pay, and that's, you get to pick your own.
I really hope that this is one of those deals that Scott gets us
Yeah, kind of
all,
a
the
flat handle. That
commentators
made me
all
pick-
get
that made me
extra
pick
money
something.
at the end.
Pick your card. Oh, okay.
Just be careful. If you see Scott's wife Joe heading for the exit with a pile of money, you might have been taken.
She's going to come around and give you your opportunity.
Whiskey for the commentator fund.
Okay, Mr. Goodland. Oh no, Mr. Wilmert.
Wilmert breezed his shot.
Oh,
He beetled it.
Didn't Beetle Breezers on special, everybody. Holy
Alert the
mo-
bartender.
We missed
You got to be
that.
touching 8, guys.
Do we got to explain the Beetle
Wayne, you
Breezer?
don't sweep in front of the rock. Again, another little reminder there.
All right, we'll wait till the end's over. Well, there it
Just
is.
for the record, though,
Okay.
once-
I really like Kent Beetle. He's a
I mean,
nice
I
guy.
don't
Oh,
like
he's
you wasted
fantastic.
time out there.
I do too.
And he was a semifinalist in this bond spiel.
Yep.
Another fortunate break for the Goodland rink,
Yep.
the luckiest team on earth.
I thought that was Schuster's ring.
Well, they're pretty lucky too.
Yeah.
But as I said, good curlers create their own luck.
Yeah.
So don't take me wrong out there in the curling
That's
world.
the
I
same thing that I used to say in science fair.
Bravo.
I was never in a science fair, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Surprise, eh?
Anyway, the Beetle Breezer. Yeah, I'll try to be
I
brief.
got another brush head
Years back,
looks like it's got
we were up
grease
here, and Bob might have been sitting next to me at one of our times of commentating
Looks like
curling
you got
without a
grease on that
microphone. Kent was playing in a cash spiel, and I was with Dexter, Jim Dexter, and we're
John.
watching Big John, Jim Dexter.
Hates that.
Yeah, sexy Dexter. All right. Anyway, so Kent's got to throw an outturn hit in a key moment of this cash spiel game, and he breezed it. And Dexter actually said he had trouble throwing that shot, and he kind of called the shot, and he said there's a good chance he might breeze this because of his outturn hit, and he did, and it was a Beetle breezer. So that kind of came up, and I said, well, that sounds like a cocktail, a Beetle breezer. And so we went behind the bar right then and there and created a cocktail, which is now either vodka or white rum with orange mango juice and a splash of cranberry. And lo and behold, it's freaking delicious.
It's outstanding.
It's delicious.
Did we miss the opportunity to play this end with the card game?
We can always go again. No, we're fine. Where's we still need money? Okay, here. There's my $1.
I haven't got a card yet.
Okay. Go see Mr. Do you have change for this?
100. That is my change.
Here's your card, Bob. You're paid for.
Oh,
How about me?
And we go to Chris.
do we announce our cards, or is this a big secret?
No.
What does my card mean?
Oh, you shouldn't show me the card, but that's all right.
So red is
red.
Steel on the steel side. Black card is on the take side.
That's way too complex. Red should be the red rocks, and yellow should be the black should be the yellow rock.
You're rock, Dwayne.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever. You can do whatever you want. That's fine.
All right. We'll do that your way next time.
Oh, that won't confuse.
Really make confusing.
All right. So we're on black is the steel side.
No, black is the take side. You're in the black. You're taking. Red is the steel side.
I need to steal.
We're all Americans here.
Steal 3.
We
And I got the worst card possible, which is steal or take 5, which is never going to happen.
Can we move over to like the 7th end?
This
or
is a lot
something where,
different. What's this one?
steal
This
a
one's
3
take 1.
That is take 1. That's a great card to have.
Yeah, I had the option of take 1 or take 2.
And what are the take 4 and steal 4? That's not a very good card. We have 1 card left. If anybody wants to is that yours?
Okay, we're going to get back
Take
to
3.
grilling. Brian Sparstead is
Steal 1. That's a great card to have.
delivering
Derek.
his
Steal 2 is not bad either.
second stone.
Blank end. If no one scores, the Joker is the blank
Goodland's
end.
looking at 2 rocks on the edge of the 4-foot. Brian just got a little bit heavy with that and is sitting open on the back of the 4.
Is there 1 card
Hey,
left?
Jeff. I'd say just peel it out of there.
There's $10, right?
To Wilmert's benefit,
I don't think you
all
can
the
see
rocks
there
are
was take one.
behind
Take 2, I got.
T-line right now.
Yes, good point. Let's get back to some curling. Now we have the ends game complete. We have everybody's got their card. So if you have red, it's steal 1, steal 2.
Normal up.
Black would be take 3. The Joker is blank end, which our lovely friend Kara has. My wonderful stepson Brian's lovely lady is here to watch, and all her Vikings glory, by the way.
So right now, Dwayne Jacobson takes that red rock off of the back of the 4-foot, but they're leaving a little bit of a basket for the Wilmer team.
I like coming the other way here for some reason. Am I wrong in thinking that, or?
Well, there's a couple ways to look at it. The catchers, the 2 on the back of the 4-foot are better catchers than the one out in the middle of the 8. But if you get this rock in the right place, it's going to be a tough rock to remove.
And it needs to be on
Yes!
the tee line. Not much more past the tee. Yeah,
They've tapped that a little bit more than they want to.
Yeah, that got behind the tee line itself, so not bad. Not bad shot at all.
Not
Good
bad.
shot by Mr. Nick Myers.
Pickable, and Goodland is going to be looking to remove as many of those rocks from the back of the house. Those are not helping him out in the least.
There's a new term for that. It's called I heard Schuster mentioning it. I think they call it a back guard or something like that. A backdoor guard or something.
A backdoor guard.
Your opponent's rock behind the 4-foot.
Your rock.
Your rock.
Behind the tee line is guarding their rock above yours.
Aha.
Right? It's actually like a back guard because you can't remove that. Another fine shot by that Goodland rink.
Yep,
Mr.
very
Biak.
effective.
That was normal. That
Still
was
leaving
Spiel.
a spot for
Spiel.
a Wilmert freeze.
Let's get a time here. I'm gonna get a time on Nick's draw.
Now, if you look where he's putting the broom, looks like there's a nice amount of curl on the ice out here. Craig Zabachnik, who is the head ice maker here in St. Paul, has really tuned the ice in nicely for the big Spiel. I played here once on Friday. I also played leagues here on Wednesday, and this is playing as fast and consistent as I'd seen it all season.
He's a very good ice maker. And this is not an easy place to make ice.
Says the former ice maker from St. Paul's, Scott Belvich.
Take a look.
And it is
Take a
quick
look.
ice,
Take a
folks,
look.
because we're throwing a 14-7 hog to hog.
Okay.
And we're getting to the tee line. And if you could throw a 14-7 hog to hog and still get that rock to the tee line, you're talking 25.5, 26-second ice.
Yep.
Don Satrom was telling me that he really misses the days when it was 18-second ice. He said some curler from Canada's named Pickwick or some 5'4" curler used to swing it above his head and fling it.
Yeah.
The YouTube is
just to get it to the top of the house.
Yeah.
The YouTube is full of historical videos of Canadian curling where several of the competitors were swinging the rock well back behind their ears.
Pete Westberg, and that's the break that the Wilmert rink needed. They are 6-1, but I think he's got to throw that same draw and perhaps throw the intern for Chris
to
that spot, or even a little leave that rock in the 4-foot a little bit open and sit on top of the yellow 4.
Would a full freeze on the 4 be the worst thing in the world?
Not the worst thing in the world, but you're still
that rock won't go anywhere.
You don't want to. You're still behind the tee line a little bit, which would allow them to come and bump and maybe bite the 4-foot and still be above yours, and you couldn't remove that rock very well.
That's a very aggressive play, though, up by 2. You would think that they're going to be more inclined to blast,
right,
being ahead by 2 than they are to play finesse.
I wouldn't argue with you there. Knowing they're not going to give up more than 2, that would be the right call to make on the Goodland side. I think. I don't really know anything about curling too much, but I try to pretend like I do. Because Chris always asks me to come and commentate games.
I just like you for your stopwatch skills.
Did they leave a double?
They left a double.
They did leave a double on that intern side, yeah. And that's what he's calling.
That rock needed to be about 3 feet lighter than it ended up being, and he leaves Goodland and Pete Westberg throwing by Skip Stones. Pretty decent chance at a double and a leave of 4 stones, 4 yellow stones in the house. It's coming up hard, though. It's coming up much more. It looks more like a jam than a double.
Jam. Yes, sir. They're still sitting there on the 4-foot with opportunity to hit and sit 2.
Yep, Wilmert can now hit and go to the other side away from his rock.
How did that curl so much?
You heard Pete Westberg there. Why did that curl so much? I didn't notice anything on the release that would have indicated that he turned it, but
I think it has to do with the pebble and how the rock. You could get some history lessons on how curling works. Apparently, they figured that out now. How the rocks curl.
It's a little bit. There's a little bit more involved than hit the broom and throw the right turn. Rotation has a lot to play with it. But at weight like that,
whoa! Yes!
Oh.
Whoa!
Wilmert undecided on the sweep call here.
He needed to hit that on the other
Ooh, he left it open for another.
It's right on the beak.
He needed to hit that on the wide side and roll out.
He needed to go the other way into the left 8-foot.
So kept him off it, and it came up and was actually rolled in instead of out, and left an easy double for Jeff Goodland, who's coming down to throw his first skip rock here in the 4th end. We're almost halfway through the game.
We called the last shot an easy double, and it didn't turn out that way. So I've, having thrown the double more than 3 times in my life, I've never ever wanted to call any of them easy.
Oh, this one's an easy double.
Only time will tell.
What's he playing? That's correct. About 6-8 inches of ice here. He wants to hit that just on the outturned side of the nose.
Immediate whoa out of the.
Whoa! Whoa!
That stayed right on that center line. And he made the double. Did he get it all the way out? It's well enough.
It's still in the rings, but there's a little. It's out.
It's out of the ring.
It is out.
Nice
that is
double.
the double.
Super easy double.
Wilmert left with a little basket over on the right 8-foot to
sit one.
To put a pretty secure shot. If you put this rock in there, it's
they're gonna squirt it through that hole. He's got to be locked on the nose of that number 4 rock. That's if he gets to the inside or the outside of that number 4 yellow rock, it's gone.
They'll be able to blow it out.
Oh yeah. Or even on the, it's got to be locked right on the nose. It's got to be welded on there and sitting, maybe not welded, but it's got to be really good.
Well, he could tuck to the immediate side of that 2 rock and be pretty safe too, though.
Is there a chance that they might be able to steal 5 here?
I have that.
No.
That's why.
There is a chance because there are that number of rocks. We just.
Who's got take 1, by the way, right now? Take 1. Okay. Take 1's looking really good at this point in the
Thanks,
game.
Scott. I appreciate that.
Yeah. If he makes this shot, take 2 is looking really good, which I have.
This looks a little
I thought you had
high.
take 5.
Well, there was 1 extra card, so I splurged.
Checking up here at the end.
I bought the extra
Gonna
card.
get a little separation.
He is going to sit shot.
It is going to be tough to keep that rock around, though. There should be no problem punching that through, leaving Wilmert likely a draw against 5 rocks.
And then when it picks, I will win the money with the steal or take 5, and then the handshakes will come out, and this game will be over. And then what are we going to do?
We better run to the Calcutta board or...
I don't know, Beetle Breezers.
Have a Beetle Breeze?
I don't think we can move the camera, so we'll have to move one of the games over to this sheet.
Yeah, we can move the cameras, actually.
We'll commentate another game.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Mr. Goodland, this guy creates his own magic and does a fine job of it, and he's going to take this rock out. I think if the Goodland rink felt anything like the Wilmert rink feels today, this game might be going the opposite way, but
Whoa!
Boy, he slid really inside on that.
Yep.
And really
Yep.
tight, but he set it out just right, but it is curling pretty hard.
Ho,
and
ho,
he
ho.
is on his yellow rock first.
He just opened the door for
He
a...
did. Oh, but he's sitting.
He's sitting shot.
He's
Wilmert's going to
sitting
have to
shot.
make... Wilmert's going to have to make a play on that back rock.
He's going to have to hit and stick for 2, and this will tie up this game if he can do it.
Dolan is sizing up the
It's wide open.
the layout.
As you can see, all 7 people watching. Is anybody commentating?
Well, I can't believe how much
Is
I
anybody
grilled.
Not curling, we're just talking.
No, I know, but is anybody like chatting? Like,
Well, at the end I got off it, but it was too late now.
No.
still 2,500 people?
I think
But,
Mark, I've noticed Mark
can
is
you believe how
not
much
really
I grilled?
talking on the mic.
I'm in shock.
Well, I know Mark's
Draw
not,
shot,
Mark's not on
almost.
Facebook, but
no,
someone on
it's right
Facebook
there.
said,
It's right up.
"Who are these clowns?"
I thought you were way. I thought you were wide.
Okay, so we just play a draw
came
down
up
to
that
it
much.
anyway.
You got the house. I'm gonna. You got the
Do
house.
we
I'm
need
gonna
to
go take
move
a
it
leak.
or not?
Wilmer just asked if we need to move that rock, and I think if there's a question if you have to move that rock, the best idea is to move that rock.
Give it to us if we just drop?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I lost.
I was listening into Wilmer. He's just asking asking his opponent that if he just throws the draw, if they'll give it to him. It's apparently close enough.
Yeah, I think you have to make a play on that
Chris
rock.
Dolan just pointed at the red rock. Chris is a carpenter, so he works with a tape measure every day. I trust carpenters to make the right call on which rock is closer to the center.
I don't know. I think I'd be a little leery about that. But
You should get down at ice level. I watched Richie Runin do that once. He
Yeah.
gets down on the ice and he looks underneath.
I come from behind. I look from behind and see if you can see any of
I'm
the
just going to let that sit there.
any of the next ring. So if you're looking at a close rock, you look from behind and you look to see if you can see the color of the rings underneath the rock.
were you done? Were you done with your story, Chris?
I didn't have a story.
Oh, well, you were going to talk to us about Richie.
I just said he gets down. I've just seen him get way down to look at it.
Yeah, he does. And actually, he kind of talked to me about that one time when I used to play with him in leagues here, and it works really well.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's something I picked up much later in my curling career is a way to look to see if you have shot rock or on a close draw is to look underneath the rock and see if you can see the rings.
Oh, that Sparstead kid has just pounded that rock all
They've
the way
decided
down the ice,
not to
right
make
to the
contact.
4 foot.
Alicia,
Fine,
you are correct on the names. I double checked it. I think you copied it from my email because it's exact.
Nice
even with
sweeping.
the slashes and everything.
Great sweeping by the front end of Brian Sparstead and Nick Myers there. They dragged that right into the 4 foot. Definitely for one for the Wilmer.
This is a big measure for the game.
They are going to measure, and I got to tell you, folks, if it is the yellow rock that sits second counter, this is going to be a major mistake because they need this second point terribly.
Yeah, but this is a big differentiator between me and you. $10, right? We got $10 riding on this measure.
Yeah, take two or take one. That's right. I wasn't even thinking about that. Who's got the $10? Here it is right here.
Yeah, you do, of course.
We're going to find out by this measure who wins the money.
Should we double or nothing?
A lot of this is on the vice skip, Chris Dolan, who pointed almost emphatically that that red was shot rock, and it clears. It appears to be red.
I hate this game.
We have a tie game.
And
halfway through,
I am $9 richer.
Boom.
Turn in your cards, everybody. Let's play again. You got to walk around and get $1 from everybody. Get their card, get $1. Is this your? No, this is mine.
I just had a whole bunch of money, but it went away.
Okay, let's look at scoring update on the other sheets.
All right, so sheet 1, the human cannonball.
Playing in the fifth end, Red Rocks. And again, we're not able to...
Red Rocks is more.
Moore holding a 3-2 lead, playing without the hammer, and showing 2 rocks in the 4 foot right now. In the second end, Erickson
versus Sailor Jerry.
Sailor Jerry.
That's the
Centerville.
Lion Tamer.
In the fifth event, Lion Tamer, Sailor Jerry out of Centerville, Wisconsin. Yellow Rocks holding.
I gave my cards away.
Yellow Rocks holding a 5-4 advantage. Looks like Red Rocks are being played by Erickson. Yellow Rocks by Sailor Jerry. A little bit more separation over on sheet 3. Yellow Rocks.
High wire.
Playing the sixth end, holding an 8-3 advantage.
Who's got what color rocks? Who's the hat there? Is that Wright? Wright, I think Wright has got the hats.
Wright with the hats is playing Yellow Rocks with a significant lead.
Well, you guys can't just say the hats. You got to explain what the hats are.
That's a longer story. That might be for the middle of another end.
Yeah, here I'll write a note. Explain the hats. Sheet
the
4,
fourth
the sideshow.
where they're playing the sideshow second event. Red playing the fifth end, holding a 3-2 advantage, sitting shot in the 4-foot.
So red is Margie Smith.
With several rocks in play, that's Margie Smith with the lead.
She plays a soft game too.
She does, but she can also pull it back and let it fly when needed. Over on sheet 6 with the third event.
Ringmaster.
Farblow versus Roush. Just a
tight game.
A note that Roush is headed to the Deaf Olympics this year. They have played in this Bonspiel all 4 years, and they are going to be representing the U.S. in the Deaf Olympics this year.
Those guys have worked hard at their game for a number of years now. I remember when they first walked into this club for a Learn to Curl, and I had to get a DSL, ASL person in here to translate for the Learn to Curl. They had never curled before, and now.
Yeah, they've beat me several times on Tuesday nights.
I just want
short years later, they're dominating.
I would like to send a shout out to our friend and their coach Joey Beta, who has been around.
Oh, Vikings touchdown.
Joey Bate has been around curling in St. Paul for a very long time, also a very active member up in at Four Seasons. And Joey's their coach, and Joey, upon becoming the coach of this team, has become an outstanding signer. Okay, over at sheet 7.
That's the trapeze.
We have
Alwyn.
They're playing the sixth end with yellow leading 5-4.
Alwyn is in the red. I don't know the other team, actually.
Get enough of it.
Go figure that out.
7, they got to pound that baby to get it out of the rings, and they get it out. Ooh, just barely.
And
sheet 7 I'm talking about.
Sheet 8, the 8th event of the
Clown
Spiel.
Clown car event.
Yellow holding a reasonable lead with 5-2, playing the towards the end of the 5th end.
Is that the Ochoko rink winning?
Yep, Yomar.
Yomar, he plays the soft game too.
Yellow's.
He's a tuck.
Yellow's
Yeah,
got
he's
one
a
in the
tuck
4-foot.
Yeah.
Boy, it's got a humidity problem over here in the corner.
Why?
Drink's empty.
Oh my God, his drink's empty. Can someone get Chris, the producer of our wonderful Stonecast production, a refreshing beverage? So here we are. We got a wide open house. We got one high corner guard. We got Nick Myers sliding out, throwing red rocks for the Wilmot rink. We're in the 5th end. We're all tied up. And the Wilmot rink is trying to get one into the 4-foot to force some hitting and make sure that the Goodland rink gets no more than one. Mr. Myers has done exactly what Mr. Wilmot asked him to do and throw it into the 4-foot.
It kind of looked like Mark was posing while he was waiting for that rock to. Voguing, I think they call it.
Well, you're absolutely right. Once again, as usual, he does a lot of posing.
Yeah, he's
whether
a poser.
he's on the ice or off the ice, frankly.
He's clearly a man of fashion.
Have they always had? This is the first time I've watched the Big Spiel. Are the scarves new, or do they always have?
The scarves are new this year.
Yeah, I like them.
We've always tried to throw out a new element to, encourage people to spend money while they're here. And the scarves were a new one this year, and again, designed by our
designer,
our esteemed designer. Rick does all of the posters that you see, all of the
Rick?
All of the graphics, the scarves, the T-shirts.
Who's Rick?
Rick from the Zolke's old team. I apologize to Rick for not pulling his last name.
Bill Zilke's old team?
Yeah, he curled. Remember Bill Zolke's team with Rick and Durf Bistadu? And Zolke and Bistadu have passed long before their prime.
Right.
But
Well, I could hire that guy to do some work for me. I need someone with creative talent.
please
Tender.
do.
Rick Tender.
Unfortunately, he's way.
Rick Tender.
No, it's not Rick Tender.
Oh, it's not. Pullman. It's not Rick.
No, it's not Rick Pullman. Rick has played all 3 years, and their team declined to this year. I'm remiss in not bringing up his name. Rick Loberg.
There
Loberg,
it
and
is. There it is.
because I knew Rick before he curled, which is the embarrassing part. Is I've known him much longer than he got involved in the game, but. You see the design elements. What I call the Big Spiel is the best looking Bond Spiel in curling because of the draw boards, the scarves, the t-shirts, the posters, everything you see.
Looks like a NASCAR event.
Uh-huh.
Seemed like mine grabbed something.
And despite what
it was
Jason
fine.
said this morning, there is not a $100 million prize in stake here. What you get is a very nice framed portrait poster of the Big Spiel with the notation of the event and your results in the event as an award.
It looks like you have about 40 sponsors. Is that right?
Several beers. I'd say it's probably closer to 20 than 40.
Let me just cruise through the beers.
Please do.
Pyres or Pyres?
Prize.
Yeah, a friend of mine works there now.
Prize is over on the
Like northeast,
Mississippi
right?
River at Plymouth
Short
and
of the T-line would be
West
nice.
River Road.
Excelsior Brewing,
Excelsior Brewing in Excelsior.
Squatters Craft.
Squatters out of Utah, Salt Lake City.
Do you do this for a living?
Squatters
Bent Paddle.
Bent Paddle out of Duluth, a new addition this year. And if you're
Lot of room,
if you
guys.
spent any time up north,
Lot of room.
Bent Paddle is in your side pocket for a craft beer.
Lot of room. Yep. Yep.
It's probably important to get beer sponsors.
Is
We
that-
should get whiskey sponsors.
Is that their tagline?
No.
We're in your back pocket for a craft
No.
beer?
No,
Well, damn, it should be.
they haven't consulted my agency yet.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I didn't know that one was in. Sorry. I didn't know that one was
should
in.
definitely be their tagline.
Okay.
So it looks like
Is there any-
General Mills sponsored this.
General Mills has been with us all 4 years. And what
I
we
thought
get
he
out
rolled
at
out
General Mills is every table is going to have General Mills breakfast snack bars in the morning and Chex Mix on the tables for all the draws. Literally
Full rock
a
out.
pallet comes from General Mills gratis. Thank you very much, General.
I'm going to say this, though. Chex Mix will not be in Chaska next year because the Players Lounge is adjacent to the ice, and Chex Mix gets ground into the carpet and dumped all over and dragged everywhere, and it was General Mills, the greatest company on earth. Thank you for all you do.
I thought that was Terrapin Technology.
We're gonna go with gummy bears at the Chaska
We got to stay
Center
though. Otherwise,
next
you don't
year.
go on.
Well, let's just let General Mills know they need to buy a gummy bear company.
Right. Well, they probably own most of them.
You could have pieces of white bread. That sounds exciting.
That would be good, as long as it's not dry white bread.
One of the primary snacks that they were able to provide last year to the Big Spiel and not this year were bugles, and bugles played a big part out at Chaska this year
Yes, they did.
with bugles spray cheese or canned cheese with the capper of a cheese ball
Right.
becoming the Chaska,
The cherry on the ice cream cone.
the ice cream cone of choice.
Right. There was a lot of that going on in Chaska this weekend, and people were having a lot of fun with it.
Fast Marys.
Fast Mary's makes a fine Bloody Mary additive that if you think you have the best Bloody Mary mix ever, you're wrong.
Bullshit. That's what I'll say.
No, you're wrong. Run up there, the Bloody Mary bar at the finals of the Big Spiel, brought to you.
Oh,
by
they got to
Fast
sweep
Mary.
that rock. It's moving. They're off it. It stayed right where they needed it to stay. Nice shot.
Called you out.
Curling zone.
Straight up, no roll. Curling
shot.
zone.
Today is Gary Gertz's birthday, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Double G.
We cannot thank Jerry enough
I could be wrong.
for getting involved with this. Carrie Benton was very instrumental in getting the big Spiel, the only recreational bonspiel covered by Curling Zone. We are
That's pretty impressive.
all the Curling Zone Spiels are
Cash
big, you know, heavy hitter events. We're in there as the only recreational bonspiel that they cover.
And it's a complex one to get in there, 96.
96. Jerry works his tail off, always does a great job. If you go to Curling Zone, and you should, just to see what's going on in the world of curling, because they cover it all.
He threw the first one out.
Click on their sponsors. And that's how Curling Zone gets paid.
Nice shot, Mr. Wilmert there to force one out of the.
Yeah, he's got a biter over on the left-hand side. So Mr. Goodland is going to have to get a straight-up hit. If he rolls out, that would be big trouble. Wilmert gets what he wants. He's a force of one if he makes the hit and stick.
Oh, I wonder who's got the one.
Ooh, I never even got a card.
I got to take two.
I have take 3.
Who's got take 1?
And where's my dollar?
Who's got take?
Adam has take 1 back here.
Who's got the ace of spades? Adam's got the ace of spades, which is take 1. If he rolls out, who's got steal 1? Oh, Mama has steal 1. That a girl. We'll keep it in the family, baby. That's what it's all about.
So
Just
Goodland's
ask
rock
the
is delivered.
Ordways.
Sweepers are on it.
Pete's calling. It's going to clear.
Oh,
it's going to stick.
oh,
He's got a
he's
lot
got
of
it.
house to roll to.
We got to take 1, and Adam.
Goodland scores 1 after 5 ends. Goodland leading 4-3.
I don't know if I have enough money anymore.
We had a
You know, this gig doesn't pay much.
No, it doesn't. It should.
We
Pay
had
a
a-
lot more than what it.
we had a
Oh, he missed it the other way. You got to be kidding me.
we had a big move on sheet 6 in the third event
Yes,
with
we did.
Red Rock stealing 6
Holy moly.
to take an 8-2 lead.
And
We
Farlow is going to look at getting 4 or 5 back here. Just watch
That
how the magic
that is
happens.
sometimes the result of the soft game, is that a lot of rocks stay around and you leave yourself vulnerable to a big one.
Soft game. I like the soft game. No, I'm actually I skip Thursday nights quite a bit here. We've had some success. I am more of a defensive player. Chris, do you like playing the soft game, or do you like playing the hard game?
Medium boil. I like a 4-minute egg.
Do you?
Yeah.
Attaboy.
I do tend to play more defensive, although it's more fun to play with more rocks in.
It can be, as long as you win.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Sometimes you get. I'm like, well, what the? I can't do anything here.
Right, right.
Yeah.
We got really short.
My whole. I shouldn't tell you this because if you ever play me for money, my whole strategy is just to allow myself to draw at the end. If I leave myself an open draw to the 4-foot, I'm okay.
That should be everybody's strategy, but amazingly, you frequently do not see that.
That's the only shot I can make. So I only draw to the 4. Sometimes it's tighter than that, but usually just the 4.
Just the 4.
That's it.
You can never draw the 12
No.
or the 8.
No. Have me do a guard, 4-foot.
I'm really good at drawing the shoes, which would be the hack.
Oh.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
I throw it to the shoes a lot. So I try to set up an end to where I can make that shot or throw that shot. We still got to talk about the big shoes. Speaking of shoes.
I don't even know how to work that into conversation.
Well, it was an Eau Claire story.
Do you know the origination? Because I got into the big shoes probably in year 2.
So it was before my time, but I've heard many stories while bondspieling in Eau Claire. And I do understand that they ended up, they were clown shoes,
I think.
which fits this bondspiel. Oh, I lost you. I don't hear you anymore. Yeah, Sasquatch is in. We're going to wait to talk about the big spiel. We seem to have lost some audio, I think. Back to curling. I'll keep the game going. Richard Maskell with his...
I muted you on purpose. You know, actually, I was already muted, and then Adam asked me a question, so then I thought, oh, well, that's mine. I hit mute. I muted you.
Good idea.
Yeah, by the way, while we have a break here, we got a little announcement from the field here. Sheet 7, the other team that we're playing on Sheet 7 is Lundblom from Wauwatosa.
Nice.
Oh, first time we've had a team from Tosa up here.
Tosa? No, Wauwatosa.
Wauwatosa. Tosa.
That's what
short.
Tosans call it?
If you're down in the Milwaukee area, you're calling it Tosa.
Are there any good bars in Tosa?
You know, I have been to the Kettle Moraine Bonspiel, which is just west of Tosa, 30 of the last 29 years.
And by the way, for the stream, we're streaming on multiple
You and I
venues.
played in that
So
field one.
you might see only 20 on YouTube, but if you add in Facebook and then the other one, it's probably at least 180.
Does it count?
180 paying customers.
Does it count?
Not paying, no.
They're paying someone. They're, you know, the electric bill or
Yeah.
You know,
whatever.
I kind of wish this game were 16 ends long.
Does control, huh?
Yeah.
We have so much to talk
It
about.
feels like
no,
it
no
is.
doubt.
And none of it is about the game on the ice.
How are the
So
Vikings
let's-
doing? Vikings are up 7-zip. 5:32 left in the first. Second and goal for the
For those of you who
the hated Saints.
are not bothering
Oh,
to
no,
watch
the
the
Vikings.
Vikings because you are glued to the finals of the Big Spiel. And here we
All right,
are.
Case Keenum hands it off.
Dwayne,
Looks like a touchdown to me.
No, down
Got
to the one.
control.
Dwayne Jacobson.
Third goal from the one.
Dwayne Jacobson is letting go with a
That's on the
looks
guard.
like a run back.
Oh no,
I believe he was playing in either or.
Yeah.
And they
Did neither.
came over too much, and the or was peeled that top shot. So they got the top rock. It's a 50-50 shot. You don't want that rock out there if you're
gonna miss it.
If you're trying to keep the other team from scoring, rocks out front are not your friend.
If you're up, the guard's not.
Oh my!
How's that one?
I just wrote that in my notebook. I'm waiting for a great shot so I can channel the late Keith Jackson.
Oh my!
The recently late Keith Jackson. There are so many, but there's one in particular.
Boy, that guy with the
Get
cocktail
on.
pants is a
Come on.
hell of a sweeper.
That is Brian Sparstead,
Brian?
young lad. He can move that broom. That's for sure. He's read about sweeping. He's studied a little bit about sweeping, and he enjoys sweeping, and you could tell.
How do you study sweeping?
Well, you could start by watching video of some of the best sweepers.
He watched.
And then you could read Dean Gemmel's book, Sweeping Like a Badass.
Are you guys going to the Dean Gemmel event later in the month?
I didn't know about it, frankly, but
Oh, well, here, let me plug it.
plug Dean.
He emailed me, and I'm his, just like you guys, I'm his lackey. I'm supposed to post this. He's got this stand-up send-off Wednesday, January 24th at the Joke Joint, 8 p.m. He's going to be here,
This
and
might
it's
jam.
going to be,
This is going to jam.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That was some bomber weight out of Dwayne Jacobson.
he's doing a comedy event to raise money for the teams going to the families of the people going to the Olympics. So
Fantastic.
Again, where's his?
it's at the Joke Joint, Wednesday, January 24th at 8. So
Where is
he'll-
that?
It's
Names
over in
and
St.
addresses?
Paul, over kind of like Lilydale, I think.
Okay.
It's like that old, like when you go out that way,
Old Jose's?
it's got like, it looks like an old like Western
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
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 It's a little strip mall just on the east
Yep.
side of 13 and 35E.
Yep, and he'll be doing comedy, and he's got a guy coming from L.A., I guess, who is supposed to be pretty good, Ben Haig.
Is Dean living here in the Twin Cities now?
Nope, he lives out in New Jersey. So, but he's doing it as a fundraiser. He did a last fall he did a show there, and I saw it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Wilmert makes the hit on the shot rock, but loses the shooter, so takes away.
Did the Vikings score?
Better chance at a deuce. Don't know. I just turned around.
I don't think so. I didn't hear any cheers.
They're too commercial, and there was no noise.
Oh, they kicked a field goal. 10-zip. That defense of the Vikings is vaunted.
Yeah, you know, all 3 areas of the game. I don't know what the 3 areas are. Pass, run.
Well, it's line.
It's punt, pass, and kick, if I remember from my
No, it's drive, chip, and putt.
I think you got to let them nibble the hook, set the hook, and then netting it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That should be the next kid's big deal. Instead of kick, pass, and punt, I'm a big fisherman.
You are big.
That's a fantastic
You know,
idea.
maybe you should stop drinking whiskey. You'd lose a little weight.
I am not drinking. Anyway, the next thing would be good would be fishing. You could do the, what would you call it? You would call it the bait, set, and net. Ooh.
If you're wondering why we're not talking about the game that's going on in front of us, it is that there's really no strategy going on. It's kind of the old school bang bang game going on this end.
Let's see if we can get Mark to give some commentary.
We're going to, I think Mark might have had some commentary on the hit and roll out on the last shot which took away his chance for a deuce. So
I think you realized you needed to turn his mic off.
I think right now we're going to be looking. Wilmert is at best going to be looking for a blank. If he gets an airmail or a breezer, then he's back into play for a deuce. But right now, he's probably best to hit and roll out on every shot.
Yeah. He's going to blank this end. Keep the hammer for the 6th.
Who's got the blank end card?
Oh,
yeah, have we got new cards? We didn't get new cards, did we? I was looking around for my card, and I didn't get one.
The Gals are kind of slacking. Oh, you did? You sold the ends game? Did we start another ends game?
I want the blank end card.
We didn't get one. Oh, I didn't.
Well, you're not going to win with the 2 of hearts.
I initiated this damn thing, and then I don't get a card.
If we need to get a roll, we're going to have
one
to do that
more.
for damn sure.
Ooh, watch the salty language there, Mr. Wilmert.
He does have a salty tongue.
Yep.
The little fella.
It didn't rise to a presidential level. Oh, I promised I wouldn't say nothing. So Goodland puts one over on the left-hand side into the 12-foot.
Intern side if you're throwing from the far end. No, it's the outturn side. I just try to sound smart.
Yep.
Mr. Dolan's coming down with his
Yep.
Outturn hit.
outturn hit, and it is coming up a little bit. They need to get on that, keep it in the house.
They're okay.
Ran
They can
really
square
nice.
it. I think they've been playing to not being terribly bothered if it rolls out. I think at this level of play, you're not counting on a full-on flash.
My compliments to Mr. Zabachnik, the head ice maker here at the St. Paul Curling Club. This sheet has played very consistent throughout the game. It's got nice curl. These guys are trusting where they're putting the broom. The rocks are coming to the point where they want them to be based on where they're holding the broom. And it's a fun game to watch. I know the 2 people that are online watching the game are enjoying it as well.
A quick update. A tight game going on sheet 1, tied up 3-3 after 5 playing the 6th end.
What's the sheet 1?
That's the 7th event.
Which would be the
human cannonball.
The cannonball.
Human cannonball event.
And if you've ever done that before,
Josh Moore, I see he's got good fashion sense from Mapleton. Look at his shirt.
Yeah.
I love.
Ooh, is that, who you call
Always wears plaid.
Yeah.
Is that plaid or gingham?
Gingham, I think. I think you're right. Yeah.
Over on 2, we have a yellow leading 6-5.
In the Lion Tamer.
Playing the 7th.
And someone just threw it right through the house.
And that's Erickson v. Sailor Jerry.
Yeah, Erickson is red. They threw it through.
That would have been Darren Holt. Had a little trouble with his weight on that one.
Happens to some of us.
They have left the ice on sheet 3. Sheet 3, the scoreboard is showing a
Wright was yellow.
9-3 score with Wright in the lead.
And what event was that?
High wire.
The high wire.
The 4th event.
4th event high wire goes to Team Wright from.
No idea.
I think they're from. Is that it?
Yeah, the program is really hard to follow where people are.
You just have to go find the team.
Oh, they're not alphabetical.
No.
They're broken up into whether they're from one of the local clubs or an out-of-town team.
But I like how you set me up there for failure.
No.
I appreciate that, you know.
It's not my goal at all, sir.
Oh, that's right. You're in the spirit of curling.
Over on sheet 6 in the 3rd event, Mike Farbelow.
Did we skip over 4th?
He did get 3, and he's still hanging around.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sheet 4 is yellow leading red 4-3 playing.
Red is Smith.
They have not hung the 6th end, so I'm not sure.
Count the rocks. Red scored. Red scored in the 6th.
Red must have scored. We don't know how many.
Could be a tie game.
So we're a tie, or red could be leading. In the 6th end, over on sheet 6 in the 3rd event, Mike Farbelow scored 3 to make up half of the 6 that were stolen from him the end before. And still in the game, playing the 7th, down 3.
There must have been a pick or a couple of picks or something strange happened for them to steal 6.
He's playing a solid team. Things can happen.
And here's my question. If you get a steal of 6, you don't win the ends game, do you? Because it's only a steal or take 5 is the 10.
I think you should.
It's a push.
I think you should get it.
I have played ends, and that is a push.
I'll go with that. Push. I like that.
It's not on the card. It's not in the game. Over on 7, yellow up 7 to.
Yeah, they shook. They're done.
7-4. They have concluded their game. Things are looking to be.
Wauwatosa won.
They've been going.
Lund-Boom.
They're going in that direction over on sheet 8 because is that Ochoko who's leading 7-2, playing the 6th end.
Yeah.
Just threw a nice high guard.
Interesting story. I was in the bathroom. You guys ever make a fool of yourself in the bathroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just walked into the bathroom and Alwyn, one of their teammates, was in there, and I was like, "Shouldn't you be on the ice?" And he said, "Oh, we just shook." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he said, sheet 7. That's how I knew the score.
Did they win or lose?
No, they lost.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, we're still curling here on sheet 5. Mr. Wilmer, I think, made a hit and stick for 1. He's hanging the score promptly. Yep. And he did take his 1 to keep the hammer in the even ends as we come down to the final 2 ends. We are tied at 4 here at the St. Paul Curling Club, the mother club of all clubs. Get your cards back together, and I would like to get back in the ends game for the 7th and 8th end if possible. I would like to get in for the 7th and 8th end, please.
Looks like there's another humidity problem over here. It's better now. It's better.
It's way better. No.
Yeah, go ahead, bring it in now.
That must have been a pretty small pot.
Bring it in.
What?
Because not everybody. I didn't buy a card last time.
Oh, there's other people involved.
There's other people. They're
it's moved beyond us.
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
we should have priority.
One would think.
We should have priority, but
I'm buying all 10 this time.
I got take 2 for the 3rd time. I like that card. I need to win one more time. But it's not setting up for a take 2 end because they threw that one in.
This sometimes is where curling, I think, can get kind of boring.
Yes, it does.
Oops. Oh no. Well, all it needs,
Oh my gosh!
all we need is a score of 4, and you need a steal of 4.
No, this is a take 4, I think.
Let's take
Oh,
4.
I'm a steal of 4.
Yeah, I should get odds.
No. Well, as you move later in the game, the play becomes more aggressive. But
They shook on sheet 8 in the.
So Yomar won.
Oh, Yomar.
Omar.
He curls on Sundays, I think.
Yeah.
He either curls on Sundays or Tuesday. I curl against him once a year.
We are calling the 4-year teams legacy teams, and Yomar is a legacy team. I'm happy to see them up their ante over their cage cleaner 9th event win last year with an 8th event win this year.
Nick.
I'd say
Okay, we're good.
watch out 2023.
Nice
Yomar's
shot by
going
Brian
to keep
Sparks.
moving up the ladder.
Viking score.
No, sack, I think.
Pick.
Sack or pick?
Oh, pick.
Anderson
picked.
Senyehu.
San Diego. That sounds like a fine tequila or a mezcal.
Nearing the end of the first quarter of the Vikings and Saints.
They're gonna
Vikings up
dominate.
10-0 with a pick relatively deep in Saints territory.
Boy,
I was down over the middle of the field. It's about midfield.
nobody cares about the Vikings game.
I
They
know.
care about this.
Look at this. We are tied after 6 in
What
the
do you-
finals of the Big Spiel. I would
What-
just like to add that
Shouldn't yell at your brother like that.
both of the teams playing in the championship here in the Big Spiel have their names on the trophy. Wilmert from year 1 and Goodland with a little bit different lineup this year, but returning after having his name etched in the trophy from 1970 or 2017.
1970.
Oh man, that was the
Oldest
year.
curling
Remember-
curling trophy.
Yep.
Well, guess what? They were curling here at the St. Paul Curling
Normal
Club
up?
in 1917.
Yes.
No,
I
it's
wonder what
normal.
the first Bond Spiel that was hosted at the St. Paul Curling Club would be.
That's a good
In
question.
this building,
Yeah.
it would have been likely in 2013 or 1913. Here I go mixing my my centuries up again. You know,
Happens all the time. It's
tough-
called the year 2000 syndrome.
to a guy my age, yeah, you slip back and forth easily. The first curling played here at Christmas of 2012, so there would likely have been some sort of Bonspiel event in the.
No, they were closed during Christmas. It was ice maintenance.
I said 2012 again.
Yeah.
1912.
You settle down.
Okay. You're supposed to breathe into a paper bag, right?
Oh, no.
When it starts drying out, you know.
Whoa. Yep, Brian.
To answer your, or try to answer your question, Chris.
Yep.
Mike, could have been a Winter Carnival event,
Oh.
but I know I've seen photos of the Winter Carnival Bonspiel being held at the fairgrounds off of
Secret.
Snelling.
Secret.
Yeah, there was curling here before St. Paul Curling Club.
Right. But this building itself, the first
normal
Bonspiel held here is a darn good question, and I'm not sure. They did throw Christmas Eve of 1912. They threw the first rock. My guess is they probably had a Bonspiel soon thereafter, which would have been January, February of
1913.
1913.
We should get the sponsor list and go through the sponsors.
Indeed.
Again.
Well, not
Jacobson's Horse and Tackle
Ben-
down on Selby, the best place to get horseshoes and feed.
Yeah. Back then on Selby Avenue. Absolutely. It was a fantastic place.
There is
The
actually,
tavern.
there is outstanding history related to St.
Yep,
Paul Curling
yep,
Club,
yep.
and you can have it all in the Centennial St. Paul Historical.
All right.
For 10 bucks.
Do you think they still have any of those left?
Yes.
10 bucks is all they cost.
I heard there are 4 or 5 left.
Free shipping.
And you can get it for 10 bucks before it goes up on eBay. It's out of print. I think the next price you'll see is probably going to be in the several hundreds of dollars.
Canadian. It is an impressive book, though.
It is fun to read, yeah. It's a great coffee table book. And,
Very well.
My coffee table has not floated away yet.
Excellent.
St. Paul
On the way.
current president Tim McMahon was instrumental in putting that book together, co-authored, and really was the driving force to research and compile that tome.
With a lot of other people. Back to curling, we are in the 7th end, nearing completion of the big spiel.
Things are still wide open.
And front of the
You guys
house
want to
is
guard
wide.
or you want to come here?
Mr. Wilmert's wondering where they want to go to force one.
Goodland's got a corner on the
Otherwise, we go here.
Oh, we got that
on the outturn side.
Here? No.
You could force us to one.
We have someone stealing art.
The center guard here could spell doom for the Wilmert rink. We're getting down to thirds rocks, correct? And they're going to throw this center guard, and if he throws a good center guard, I guarantee you Mr. Goodland and Mr. Westberg are going to go directly under it. And if there's 1 to 2 missed shots after that, Goodland is going to take 2 or 3, and this game is over. I really like the draw out into the 8-foot. That's why they scored in the 6th end. They got their 1 to keep the hammer in the even ends. This could come back to bite them bad.
It could, but
get that rock in the house if you want to win this game.
Westberg just said something on Mike. He said might be a bluff.
Yeah, go ahead. Go, 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 go. Go.
Might be a bluff.
Go.
Yeah.
That he called the rock as a center guard and threw it into the house. Because center guard doesn't help Wilmer at this time. He does not want to steal this end. He wants to force.
Right.
So I'm thinking that at some point you're going to see Red Wilmer throwing a rock under that corner guard to try to force Goodland to a 1. A blank here, of course, favors Goodland. He's going to have the hammer coming home.
If you're Wilmer, you can't throw a rock under that corner guard.
Until your last rock.
That's what I would have called, actually.
Mine's good. Whoa.
I mean, I would have been wrong, but that's what I would have called.
You're right. Your last rock, you could have called that corner guard. You could throw under that corner guard.
Hey, guys, I have this 4, take 4. I'll sell it to you for a quarter. Do you have 25 cents?
Who's got take 1? Who's got take 1? Ooh. Kara's looking good.
Is there a blank card, or are we talking about...
Oh, you got steal 1.
push?
You got take 1. Take 1's looking good. Joanne, my beautiful wife, has take 1. And Kara has steal 1. I think you guys are definitely in the running to win the 10 bucks.
You're in the money.
We're still hitting. The rock is growing up to the top of the house as they continue to hit from the 4-foot up. Another nose hit will make full 12, and there's an opportunity for Goodland to come under that if this rock is nosed.
Dolan staying a little bit on the outside. He's coming over. He's going to stay, but a little bit over on...
Yeah. This is going to be a decision for the Goodland rink to make. Do they want to get in under that in the 4-foot, or... It's an easy run back if they try to come under it, but... I think he's going to hit that rock.
Mike Farbelow just made a Mike Farbelow shot with a angle raised double, taking Roush's rock off of the button, leaving Farbelow sitting 1-2.
This is going to end up being a blanked end. I can pretty much guarantee you guys.
That's what it looked like to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Over on sheet 6,
Goodland's going to have last rock in the 8th.
Yep.
Over on sheet 6, Roush is throwing a draw to the full 4 or a piece of the button to keep Farblow from stealing 2.
Is this the hammer on sheet 6?
I believe it is.
It is, yes.
Mike Farblow just made an incredible angle raise takeout to pick one off of the button.
What a surprise.
Normal.
Vikings have the ball back. They're inside the 20. They're in the red zone. Once again, up 10-0 in the second quarter.
Oh.
Looks like Farblow just made a steal of 1.
No, you sure? I think it's 2.
It could
Looked
be
like 2 to me, but
could be a deuce. It's keeping this game in play. They're going to play the 8th end within 2 or perhaps 1 point.
Their Roush rink looks a little fired up at each other.
Well, they're
Didn't play that 6th end very well.
they had a rock
It was a steal,
securely
too.
on the button. It was Mike Farblow making an incredible shot.
Touchdown
Vikings
number 2.
score.
Check, the Vikings have reached the end zone.
Early in the second, they're up 17.
Oh,
16,
but
nothing.
there's a flag on the
Oh.
field.
Pass interference, offense.
I can't read it. I just guessed.
I think you're right.
Well, that's
actually.
a buzzkill. No, it was a running
That must
play.
be a hold, eh?
That would be a hold.
Where?
Right there. Oh, there.
There,
That's
no,
a
there.
little hold.
Every play in football is holding.
Well,
What are you
that's
talking
true.
about?
He's going for the roll hard.
Okay.
That's a lot of room.
We're back to
Nobody
curling.
cares about the Vikings, Skull Vikings.
Back to
Bring it home.
curling, and
Farblow within 1.
Mr. Goodland does have some issues with sliding narrow on his intern, so he has a pretty wide broom here for this hit. He wants to make darn sure he peels it out and blanks the end and keeps hammer for the 8th. I don't remember how this end's set up with lead rocks, but there's a chance this rock could
Not getting a roll.
stick. And it's curling hard.
He's gonna have
he
a full.
is
He's
gonna
gonna have a
stick,
full hit.
which is beneficial for the Wilmot rink. They're going to be down 1, but with hammer playing the final end.
No, they've got
Thank
two
you.
more rocks to come.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was hammer.
Nope.
I need to quiet down until I really know what's going on.
So over on sheet 6 in the third event, Farblow did steal 2,
Yeah.
giving them down 1, playing
They
the
wanna go
final
hard
end.
for the roll this time.
We're playing the
Hitting up on
conclusive
the actor.
8th end on
Yeah.
sheet 4 of the second event.
You know, it would be fun to have a picture of the scoreboard on sheet 6 for people to. Can they see that, by the way? No. That scoreboard on sheet 6 is pretty incredible.
It's hard to recover from a steal of 6,
Whoa.
ever.
I'll take a photo and I'll post it on the event Facebook.
I
Ever.
think you should.
And here we go. In the second event on sheet 4, they're playing the 8th end. Yellow is down by 1 with the hammer.
What event is that? The cage cleaner? No.
No, the
Lion tamer?
second event? The
Eye
sideshow.
wear? Eye wear?
The sideshow.
The sideshow. Nice shot by Dale Webb there.
Yellow sitting 2. Dale Webb just made a tap out with a little bit of a roll.
Here comes Mr. Goodland with his hammer shot.
with 2 in open house.
2 in open
throwing it
house,
through.
throwing it through, and he's going to have hammer in a tie game, and it's looking very good for Mr. Goodland. I don't remember what happened in the 7th end there for lead rock setup, but
Looks like they got another touchdown.
for some reason,
Oh, maybe not.
there was a lot of hitting going on versus some guard rocks being put up.
Yeah.
But now it's down to it's all the marbles here with a tie game coming home, and these are generally pretty interesting ends to watch.
That's
because
very true.
The team looking at Wilmert, the team looking to steal, is going to load up, and Goodland is going to be looking to keep that 4-foot open for a final shot.
It's usually all about these lead rocks too when you need to steal in this late end.
Yeah, if you get in the house here,
You're done.
It's a kiss of death.
It is a kiss of death. Brian Sparstead throwing lead rocks is throwing a nice guard rock that's going to get over the hog and maybe halfway to third way there.
A little bit off center line, but not
Fine shot. Good
very
lead
fine
rock.
shot. That's a very usable shot.
Just before.
Gotta have.
Well,
Oh,
it's solid.
what happened on that last end? It was a blank end.
Yeah.
Who had the joker?
Little tick shot.
You did. Nice. Derek Hellstrom wins the.
Are we
10 bucks.
buying new ones for this?
We got it. It's
Just
the
short of
8th
the half
end.
weight.
All right.
Take your $10.
If it goes through, that's fine.
Get your dollar out. Last end. Here we go.
Goodland's playing the one of my favorite shots, the tick. He's going to try to.
The hardest shot in curling.
Apparently, it's according to Don Satchram, it's the
Wait, close.
Weagle.
My rock on
Lisa
the sleeper.
Weagle made that famous. Apparently.
By calling it the tick shot?
Close.
No, you call it the Wiggle. Why does he get the first choice? If his card is better than mine, I want it.
Maskell
Oh my God!
ticks it 2 feet off the center line.
Shot.
Very, very effective. He loses
No,
the
it's
shooter,
not
and that's
effective
fine.
at all because that rock will go back where it belongs.
No, he didn't knock it out of play.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He just
I thought that was
ticked it off the center line.
Yeah.
What's great about this game is that we're donating all the proceeds to the TCCA junior program.
That is what's
shot.
great.
In I mean, this game, the card game that we're playing,
Oh.
we've raised about $40 now.
What's great about the big spiel is that the proceeds are ultimately going to head towards junior programs, education of curling, all of
Board
the,
meetings.
all of the above.
You guys have a lot of board meetings.
like he's going
TCCA
on
has a
house.
monthly board meeting like most curling clubs. The Big Spiel has monthly board meetings or committee meetings leading up
Yep.
to the Spiel, with probably every 2 weeks as we get into the heat of things. No one in their right mind would do it more than once, and this is my 3rd year.
It's beautiful. Well, you're working with a pretty tough crew.
My rock.
Maskell playing on an open rock on the top of the 8.
Sparstead needed to get that rock as a guard, and he threw it in the house. And that is unfortunate.
Ooh, he's out. Oh, you want it out. yeah, okay.
Had to have that rock. Above
Yeah,
the
it
house.
was that would have been a free guard rock, and
Yeah.
you didn't want that one in the house.
No, he didn't. Unfortunately, came a little heavy with it. Well, there's another beauty shot by the Marjorie Smith rink. To sit 2, up 1 without playing the last
Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa,
they're-
whoa, whoa.
in the 4-foot.
We are,
Everybody's paid up.
Now, no.
I want a refund.
There's a good guard. Nice shot by Nick Myers. Good high guard. That's what they need. And then what they need here is what? They need they're going to try and peel, and they need a jam, or they need it to stay.
They
Even-
need a stick, yes.
They need a stick, yeah. And then they can throw a 3rd guard, and then they're in business for the steal. And we'll see what happens. This rock is curling on the intern side, and it's going to stay up there. I don't think it's going to
It'll
peel
stay.
all the
Oh,
way
that
out.
came a lot. It's going to stay in play.
Oh, no, it didn't actually.
All the
It
way
was
out.
Cleared them all, eh?
Dwayne
unbelievable.
Jacobson making a fantastic, maybe a game ender.
That could definitely be the game ender. Unbelievable shot there where he gets all 3 rocks out of play, and we have a.
Well, don't you think that Mark could just throw another guard up there?
Well, of course, that's what he's going to do.
Yeah,
Will,
perfect.
but-
And then you just draw under that guard, and you're fine.
Well, they're going to
That
peel the
guard,
guard.
that guard will be gone.
Oh, he'll miss that. Come on. You always are good for one miss.
I think that could happen. You're right. Some rock could stay around.
We're
on
talking
appeal.
about league play. What you're seeing with quite a few teams in the Big Spiel is competitive senior teams tuning up to play in competitive seniors in another couple weeks. So you've got the Erickson rink playing over on sheet 2. They're playing an extra end in the Lion Tamer. That's a competitive team that, for one loss last year, would have been the senior champion. And the Beetle rink, who lost in the semis, was
There's a guard rock.
got his hit on the nose that he needed. The Beetle rink is a competitive senior team, so that's what we're starting to see with the Big Spiel, is that some senior competitive teams are using it as a place to get quite a few games together, to get some familiarity, to get some rocks thrown as a team, to get some communication things.
It's got to be pretty good training too. You go to all these different clubs. You get to like figure out how to react quickly to ice conditions.
Generally, when you're playing in a senior nationals or any nationals, you're going to be on the same ice the whole time. But it's just always good to get together and talk about
Ryan,
it's communication more than anything.
Here, Dwayne, get this. Dwayne.
Do you see Pete down
Gotta
there?
go.
Dwayne, get this piece of dirt in front of the rock.
There's an opportunity for a steal here. This is going to come down to Skip's rocks, no question.
Well, the center guard is up, and Goodland's got to decide if he's going to take that rock out of the house or if he's going to try to get rid of that top rock.
Oh, you gotta
I
get
think
rid
you
of the top.
obviously have to remove that top
Hit both of them,
rock, because that's going to continue to hurt you as the end goes on.
Here comes Mr. Pete Westberg with his
It's a rocket.
third lead, and he is going to make the peel and hopefully catch some of that red rock back in
Shooter's
there.
going away.
Going over the top.
Another center guard's going to go up.
Mr. Wilmert is standing, imposing upon his broom to decide whether he wants another high guard
Or
or
a tap
perhaps come behind his red rock.
I mean,
Tap
can do
back
that.
is
There we go, here.
a shot. A come around is a shot, or another high guard.
I like the high guard.
I do too. I agree with that. At this point of the end, there's
You only need one.
you only need one. There's still 3 rocks to come.
I mean-
you already have your A rock in the house.
They're going to talk
They're
about
going to talk.
Hey,
that
you know what?
rock's- that
You know what
rock's
I
not-
say?
is not going to win the game.
You know what I say in league play? Less talk, more rock.
Yeah.
This isn't league play, so we're going to give him this.
He's gonna
If for any of you folks out there,
Hey,
that-
Scott, you know, I paid good money for these microphones, and they're having a little steal out there. We could listen to them. We might learn something.
Let's eavesdrop.
He's gonna make
I'm
a
just
double,
saying,
and then
I'm thinking we save the tap.
I think we got to throw a guard this one.
We gotta be a 2 guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, they're in agreement. They're going to toss another guard up.
Yeah.
I think that's what Belvich alluded to.
and Hedstrom,
Oh, I unmuted. I could have been much more polite. I could have just muted you.
and Lindsay, Lindsay,
Listening.
Lindsay,
No, listening.
Lindsay.
He might
Listening.
go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That must be Norwegian. You're very desirable.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. It means man with the long Long blonde hair.
We met up on Rainy Lake last summer. He came across
Kettle Falls
from the Canadian side in like a, I don't know, it was like a
Dolan, let's
35
foot,
40 foot cabin cruiser.
42 foot.
Dolan lets the intern guard go.
It's a fine guard. This is the right call.
Sparstead sweeping on the push side to get it to the center line.
And it's a very nice guard.
Halfway between Hog and House. Nearly perfect.
So Goodland's kind of screwed here, right?
No, Goodland's in fine shape, but he's got to take that top rock off. But he's still debating whether to come down. He's a very deliberate skip. Typically, he's the last guy off the ice.
Just catch an edge of it.
Pete's saying catch the edge of it. They might make the double here, and if they do and it rolls, this game probably is over. If they don't make this double peel, we might see some exciting skips rocks.
Yep.
And he's not going to make.
It's still going to be that rock is staying in play.
Ooh.
That yellow rock is going to stick around somewhat. That's a
Nice
fantastic double, but he leaves that shooter in a problematic area.
And because of that, we're down to skips rocks. Does Wilmert throw one under, or? Yeah, he's going to throw one under.
There is a question mark in strategy of whether you'd put another one up.
Yeah.
And
I think you got to use the guard now, though.
It takes one to win.
Yeah. I think you got to use the guard now.
I told him that he could call a timeout and I'd come down.
Oh, yeah. Timeout, baby.
Timeout.
We called a timeout in
He would
Hibbing
want
at the
you to
last.
come with a glass of scotch.
So we were called a timeout in Hibbing at the last chance one year and had the gals come down from the stands with the shot rock of Crown Royal.
Nice.
It was a classic moment. It was epic.
The last chance bond Spiel, they used to give away an outboard motor. And then the Canadians always won it, and they had to pay duty, and they didn't like
always
that.
takes more of that tournament.
I think there's an international. They used to give away a car, and the MCA in Manitoba, they gave away a car, and there's a story back in the '60s, I think it was. Oh, they got to go hard here. Yeah, got to get it in there. And
Not bad. You're biting paint. You got paint.
Yeah, I got to make a shot.
That's a pretty nice shot.
Not
Okay,
too bad.
over second event, we have.
I was going to finish my story.
I've been dethroned by Margie Smith in the sideshow. We have a new sideshow champion in Margie Smith over on sheet 4.
Let's talk about it.
They stole 2 in the 8th end to take a 3-rock win.
You could
and win. Oh,
normal down, and you might
Vikings have
end up hitting
another
this,
turnover. They're dominating. That defense is tough.
Yeah, all 3 phases of the game.
Line,
hook, and
backwards.
sinker. Line, hook, and sinker.
What you think?
Punt, pass, and kick.
Oh, good control. Okay, because either way you're going to
Bait,
have a. You just don't want to end up
bait, set, and net.
here
That's
and
what
then
I'm
blocking
going
this
with.
draw.
Okay, mute us and let's listen to see what Pete and Jeff are talking about out there.
They turned off their mics because they didn't want us giving any hand signals to the Wilmert team of what they might be talking about.
They're going to try to pick the Wilmert shot that's sitting in the top of the 12. We're going to be looking to pick that. If they pick the top guard, it doesn't hurt them, but Wilmert's going to have a world of possibilities.
Calvin's got a hell of a shot here going.
Yeah,
He's looking at 3 rocks.
This game is over. This game is over.
This is the hammer shot.
Could be a tie game.
No.
Curl up.
No, this.
It's over.
This is
Wow.
Yep.
another
Mike Farbelow.
come from
Farbelow.
behind the win for Mikey Farbelow.
Mike Farbelow is down 8-2.
I want to get him on the
5.
mic sometime. I think that would be fun. Have him
It would be.
commentate.
Mike
It would.
Farbelow?
Yeah. I probably couldn't keep up, right?
It would be a lot of fun. Mike's a great guy.
He is such a student of the game. Probably a bigger student of the game of maybe anybody I've ever seen.
Good shot. It was close. Really close.
Well, have you not been listening to me?
Just not as long as Mike.
Yeah.
Remember draw weight?
So here we are. We're down to Wilmert's last rock.
A good comment off of the ice. Pete Westberg just asked Jeff Goodland if he remembered draw weight because it's been a while. Jeff's been throwing a lot of hits in recent ends.
Bite forward.
Wilmert's coming around.
Bite four would be fine here.
Even medium back four isn't bad.
Right, exactly.
It's
Actually, it might even be better.
As long as you're buried. If you can bury the thing anywhere in the back four is really pretty good.
All right, we're going to have a conference.
Dolan wants to talk about it.
This could be the kiss of death.
Let's talk about some.
Now he's going to walk down the middle of the sheet with his dirty shoes, and there's going to be a pick.
That doesn't happen in St. Paul.
I'd like to thank the ice makers and all the curling clubs this weekend for providing such outstanding playing surfaces.
There should be some sort of competition. People should have to fill out a little comment card. How did you like the ice? And then afterwards, everybody could get feedback.
Rate your favorite ice.
Yeah.
Well,
how was it from hospitality standpoint?
I don't think they
right. It'd be all winners. Everybody that won.
I got it.
So
I got off the ice at Chaska night before last. Went back to the players' lounge, and Scott Belvich was the first person I saw. And I said, Scott, it was great ice. Good job. And he said, oh, you must have won.
Yeah. You must have been on Carl's sheet. He must have worked on that one.
The baller. There's big Jim Dexter. He's down on sheet 8 watching the last couple rocks. Hawaii One Toe, his nickname now.
I've never heard that one. Yeah.
Can we direct the cameras over that way?
I'll take a picture of him. I'll post it on the.
Hey, Big John, give us away.
Give us away. There he is.
So I should throw about an 80 or 75.
I've now figured out how to.
Here it comes. Last rock for Mr. Wilmert. I always find it interesting how Richard Maskell stands at the near hog line and stares at the guy that's going to throw the rock. Like he's going to mesmerize him.
I'm intimidated up here.
Yeah, I am too. It's unbelievable.
Like one of my league curling teammates has a nickname for Richard. Richard is. Oh, that's a gem.
That is pretty darn good, folks.
Richard curls. It's his whole life.
Right.
He has curled in Worlds with the Steve Brown rink.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Jeff Goodland could have been accused for being the slowest competitive curler, except that he used to play against Steve Brown, who upped him by about 40 minutes per game.
Control, I think.
Well,
Richard played with that.
He's also known as the albino snake charmer.
The albino snake catcher because of
his broom.
He has never purposely seen daylight unless it's an outdoor bonspiel. And his curling broom has a V'd hook on the end that nobody else has for catching snakes.
Absolutely.
Big snakes, though. You got big snakes with that one.
You could get huge snakes.
Yeah, boa constrictors.
Boas,
some of those big
pythons.
Some of those big bull snakes and cordon snakes.
I have seen a few garter snakes,
a lot of
big
money
ones,
riding on this,
but not as big as bull snakes. Yeah.
All right.
And here we go, folks. I'm going to let you make the call, Bob.
This is the hammer shot. I wish this wasn't me, and it's not.
I wish it wasn't over. I've had more fun than
How's the weight?
I should.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to snap up. Nope.
They still have the line. They still have the line.
Yep.
They still have the line.
Yep.
I think they're going to get off of it quick.
They made the shot.
Good one.
Fine shot.
That was a spectacular shot. Jeff Goodland just popped out the shot.
Threads the needle, gets in there, pops it out, gets the win.
Nice
Wow.
Fine shot.
Wow,
by
let's
Mr.
tap the
Goodland.
glass. People tap the glass out there. That was a
Beautiful shot. Well played curling
A lot
game.
of nice work, buddy.
Wow.
Enjoyable
wait,
game.
I've been waiting.
He makes a really
I've been waiting all
You guys
game to
played well.
say
You
this.
played- you got a good
Whoa,
team.
Nelly!
All right, so we have one last game on sheet 2. We can flip our cameras over there.
Let's do
Grace,
it.
I saw dollar
Too
signs
far.
flash in front of my eyes.
Keith Jackson, rest in peace.
The Lion Tamer.
Over in the 5th event, Lion Tamer, which I like to call the toughest event of the Bonspiel. Because you dropped out of your 3rd game, you thought you were pretty dang good. And we are 2 very solid teams.
You're curling with guys that have long beards and they're curling in jeans.
And I tell you what, Sailor Jerry is one of my favorite beverages.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I once I won a contest with them and got a calendar and all sorts of stuff.
Who won? We played ends.
I think I won.
Take one. Take one.
4.
wins.
Take 4.
The producers of the Stonecast show win.
I'm counting. I believe this is the
Extra end.
This is the hammer shot.
Oh, this is extra end, isn't it?
And Red is counting in the back of the 8-foot.
He's got to draw. What the hell's going on there?
Looks like Ericsson's got to pull a little better than full 8 for the win. No, he does not have hammer.
No.
So there's another rock to come.
He's throwing a guard on it. Oh, yeah. What was that?
No, yellow was sitting shot. He came up short.
He came up well short.
So Sailor Jerry, the winner over in sheet 2.
High wire event.
Yeah.
Lion Tamer.
Lion Tamer.
Okay, before we sign off, I have to tell you one thing. So when I started doing this commentating, when I first started curling, I would see Scott up here. I'd see all the Dex. I'd see all these old time ice makers sitting at the ice doing this, and I was like, we should recreate that. And this has been very similar to that. We're sitting on the ice. This is great. So I appreciate you guys joining us on this commentating. I think it's made it enjoyable for me, anyways.
Thank you, Christopher.
We're 1/4 of the audience.
I am. This is bucket list stuff for me, let me tell you. So Scott and I have talked about doing this for a long time because we've done it without microphones for several years. We always have a good time doing it, and today was no exception.
Yeah, thanks for doing what you do in your efforts and all your guys' efforts for putting on and broadcasting curling here at the club. It's fantastic, and I love it. And anytime you would need any help doing any of this, let me know. I'd be glad to do it.
And now let me quick tell you about my year of radio broadcasting in southern Idaho.
Okay, the battery's running low on my iPad here. All right, good night, everybody.